Glenelg made a slow start to the season, but the Tigers have improved, so much so that in the run to the major round, they're now favourites to secure the 5th position available. Unfortunately for their fans, the Bays slipped up against the Eagles last Sunday, and this afternoon they face South Adelaide. And while the Panthers have been smashed 2 weeks in a row, are seemingly devoid of confidence and sit 8th on the ladder, they're somewhat incredibly still a chance of overtaking the Tigers and grabbing that top 5 berth. Welcome to the Bay, where Glenelg and South Adelaide are fighting for survival in round 17 this afternoon. Stuart Dew is in the experts chair, and obviously, Dewey, this is do or die, really.
Certainly
quite a cliche.
Good start. If Glenelg want to play finals football, you have to win these games, especially against sides that are struggling. So we expect to see that today. Yeah,
South is struggling, but as we look at the premiership table, we can see how the contest for the 5 is shaping, with Central, Sturt, North and the Eagles look pretty much like they will fill the top 4 positions. Then it's between Norwood, Glenelg, Port and South to maybe snatch that 5th place. At the moment, you'd say with their draw, the Bays are probably the favourites, but you never know. And certainly the Panthers, Mark Soderstrom, well, they've had an indifferent couple of weeks, and certainly their president got stuck into them after the game last week.
Well, indifferent, definitely. They 85 points they went down to Norwood last week. The week before, it was 110 points against Sturt. They have been very ordinary. They had their presentations back at the Adelaide Bowling Club after last Saturday's loss to Norwood. President Colin Francis launched an extraordinary attack on the players and their commitment. Now, we have a G rating, so all the kids at home watching, there's a few words that Colin uses here that you should never use at home. Just take a listen.
I've been at this club for many, many years now, and never have I been so disappointed. They reckon the knives are out for the coach and things like that. What's the bloody coach doing, they say? Well, the coach can't get out of the bloody field to kick the ball himself. That's up to you boys. It's up to you boys to interpret what the coach is trying to do. I've heard they say that you don't understand the game plan. Well, you're not all bloody idiots. You know how to play football. Or at least I think you can. If you haven't got any pride in the club, if you haven't got any pride in the jumper, have some bloody pride in yourselves. Because that's what you haven't got at the moment.
Well, it's a fair old spray. You wonder what the reaction will be. They've had a week to think about it.
Yeah, certainly the players, that'll get them up, but the South supporters really they probably had enough of talk at the moment. They want some action, so we'll know in a couple of hours how they're going to react.
Absolutely. Let's have a look at what the Bays are putting on the park today. Out for them is Brett Backwell, losing him to that hamstring strain. He says he'll be right for next week. Richie Douglas, pretty important inclusion though.
Oh, he certainly is. He's a class player. We've seen him kick many goals this year, so, you know, Backwell out's going to hurt them, but Douglas in probably cancels that one out.
And for South Adelaide, well, they've dropped a couple of their leading goal kickers. In fact, their leading goal kicker in Benny Warren, and you wonder where their goals are going to come this week.
Yeah, it is a worry. I mean, Ben Warren's their leading goal kicker with 16 goals, and the next best is 14, so they might struggle in that department.
And so does the weather this afternoon. It's pretty good, really.
It is. It's spot on. A little bit of breeze heading to the right of screen, around 17 degrees. The sun's come out. A little bit of cloud, but conditions are pretty well set for a game. Well, South must win to have any chance of playing finals. And the Bay's just ticking along very nicely.
Well, it should be a fascinating contest, if nothing else. Here's Michael Maney with the first bounce.
Thank you, Neil. Harsh words from the president, but I think he's had enough. Let's see whether they can back Robert Pyman this afternoon, the South Adelaide players, and silence the president. Round 17 of the SANFL. Parry goes up. Free kick against him in the ruck. It'll go to Cranston. Trevor Cranston, a real workhorse, uses Marnie. Marnie's kick forward. Well done, Kirkby. And Ben Moore's got it inside forward 50. Ben Moore, one of their better players last week, kicked a couple of goals, 21 possessions. He's had a pretty good year, Ben Moore. And he can get his side off to a really good start here if he can kick a goal. There he is. Former Richmond Tiger. The fireman, one of Mark Soderstrom's mates in the fire brigade. A lot of firemen play. He dishes off to Panozzo, and then he has his kick run down, so it didn't come off. Booted off the ground by McGrath. Things not working early. Williams, poor handball. Marnie looking for Lewis on the outer side. Panozzo. Now let's have a look at this kick. I'm sure it'll be better. Kicks it long. They fly. Need a crummer. Moore's there. Had it spent before he got there. Umpire said get it on. Nagel burst through. McGlone away to Williams. So South out of trouble. Munkara's got some space on the wing and can run. Decides for a bounce. And another. Got a good shepherd from McGrath. A player in short is Ellis. Good kick. Good build-up, South Adelaide. Well, there's the run. And this side, if they stop running, Stewie, they're history.
Exactly right. With not as many tall goal-kicking targets up forward, they're going to have to get some goals out of the midfield. So, smart play there. He could have blazed away, and Ellis just dropped into the hole. And it was good to see he kick the ball back into the centre corridor, so he's got an easier shot.
Smart play. Ellis has booted 3-8 this year. And that's gun barrel straight. Good start to the Panthers. Let's hope this is a little bit of what we'll see this afternoon from them, because they've lacked that bit of passion.
They definitely do need the passion, but as we see here, they had a lot of numbers coming out of defence and just cool play. He probably could have run a little bit faster. I know he's got a bit of toe, but there he was, cool under pressure, popped it over the top, and important for someone who's had a bit of goal-kicking trouble to kick that early one for the confidence. So, fantastic start. The body language wasn't fantastic, though. They did get an early goal, but maybe a little bit more excitement would have been order of the day.
The building up to it, Stewie.
Calm before the storm.
Dale Ellis admitted he almost gave the game away 5 or 6 weeks ago. Now he's back in the league side. He's kicked 4-8 for the season after that goal. Bennett with the punch away. Firth, Clark, run down. Maddox was in there. And coming the other way was Marnie. And then Douglas. And the ball eventually will be a bounce just inside the line over there. Up by Tim Pfeiffer coming in to separate the plays.
Thanks, Paz. Just sitting on the bench there for Glenelg, we see Jack Fosdyke nominated for the Star Search Award for the SANFL last week, with Jeff Smith and Byron Murphy back in the side after a knee problem.
Douglas making the tackle.
Thanks, boys.
And umpire Pfeiffer again coming in. Right half forward for the Bays.
Good, play on. Nothing in there, get it out, good hands.
Slick hand pass comes out in the direction of Logan inside 50. The pass was cut off brilliantly by Bennett to McGlone, and they're away and running through McGrath on centre wing. Needs a bounce, doesn't get it. Toomey does. Toomey taps it on McGrath, and McGrath can't secure it. Ellis had run forward to the play, so he was the next option. Unfortunately for McGrath, the ball went out of bounds. South Adelaide by a goal.
Parry in the ruck. Cranston got the better of it down to Moore. Moore just broke free. Too easy. Fisher. High kick. McConnell. He's booted 40-odd goals this year, McConnell. Can't hold on. Prendergast. McGlone gets the call. Scooter down the line from Jakes. And it was touched, and Jakes ran it out of bounds. Didn't hear the call of touch, Troy Jakes, and has to throw it back to the boundary umpire. Bit of strapping though. Shoulder strapping seems to be mandatory for a lot of players these days, Stewie.
Yeah, just part of the pre-game routine.
I'm sure the bandage companies are pretty happy with it all. Maddox kept it low, didn't have anywhere to go. Pretty intelligent play by Maddox, and just gained his side about 25 metres. Another boundary throw in. There's Clay Sampson. Testimonial year for him. Hasn't been a real good one so far. Parry went to ground, and Cranston decided to take advantage of that. Willoughby finally got hold of the foot. He's got a player in the middle and spears it to him now. It's Marnie. Marnie goes out wide. The lead was from Mitchell, and Marnie's kick just completely missed everything. Your old teammate Josh Marnie playing for Glenelg this afternoon. Not one of his better kicks.
I'd be certainly looking to do a little bit better than that, and on the Glenelg Oval you want to really go direct. It is a short ground, so don't want to waste your time out in those pockets.
It's another forward 50 entry though for the Bays. And they've had it 5 of them thus far to 1, and they trail by a goal. Fisher with the tackle. McGlone lost it. Willoughby was in there somehow to Fisher again. To the long kicking Mitchell, went for the left foot. Parry shut him down. That's desperation. Good news for South fans. They look like they're on song. Here's McGrath. Off his non-preferred, down for Munkara, got under the ball, out of bounds, half forward right for South Adelaide. That wasn't bad.
Yeah, good signs there. They're very keen. If you look at South's list, they have got a fair bit of AFL experience, so there is no reason why they cannot, win more games than what they actually are. Just got to start playing together.
Well, if we go back to President Colin Francis, attitude. As you say, Stewie, they certainly have some talent. Here's Fisher, went to ground. That was in the back, according to the umpire. I don't know about that. Corey McGrath was the offender there. We'll just have another look. Looked like he was already over the ball, but Mules now at half-back. Can come wide to Fisher. It's in a bit of space, decides to run on. Couple of steps, then down to half-forward. Bennett in position, did some good body work. Maddox read it off the pack, and now he looks for Ellis. And Ellis was outmarked in front by Mules.
The skipper just got in front there. We'll talk about Ellis in a minute, because Stewie Dew, you were with him on Port Adelaide's list just going back a few years ago as a rookie, and we'll come to him in a moment. But at the moment, we've got Mitchell. A long way from goal, but I don't think even the explosive kicking of David Mitchell would be anywhere near it from here. Wants to use his left boot. I'll tell you what, he's roosted that about 60 metres on the non-preferred. They fly. Crummer's required. Right's there to Clark, who loves to run and bounce. Spears it in, looking for Munkara. The bounce back to Clark, who just kept on running. Slung off the kick. Loose ball to be won. Willoughby went without it. Sherwood tries to crash through. Ended up getting the handball away. Hinge couldn't get it. Taken by Kane, the former Hawthorn player. Out wide to Marnie. How's his kick this time? You'd expect it to be better. It is to Kirkby, who provided a wide lead. He's outside 50, about 65 from goal. Kicks it into the pocket, and Prendergast just outmarks McConnell. So Prendergast has had a couple of wins against McConnell so far in the match. Playing down back, Prendergast, with their lack of goals, one wonders when he'll go forward. Taken by McGlone. McGlone's kick out, looking for the skipper in Sampson, who brilliantly got it on the half volley, then slipped and mucked it all up. Marnie's over the footy and can't get rid of it, and the umpire says, give it to me, I'll have a ball up.
He was unlucky there, Clay Sampson. He did the right thing, let up well, and just tried to play on quick and lost his footing, so he was unlucky.
So the spectators there just looking back as if, oh, we haven't decided if we're into this game yet. The Bays fans. Here's Kane, and he was able to get it to Fisher. Fisher takes his time, controls it, then the bomb inside forward 50. Prendergast had the better of it, backed up by Bennett, and then they worked it dangerously across goal. Well, they've got it into the open. Norsworthy. McGrath's got the fly, he got hands on it and was only able to knock it out of bounds. It's all set up nicely, but yes, he didn't quite have the wings.
Important matchup, that one on McConnell down there, because he has kicked 40 goals for the season, so Prendergast's doing the job so far.
And they've got a couple of good goal-kicking targets, small forwards in Mitchell and McConnell. They get it forward again, the Bays, and again it's Norsworthy clearing to Clark, and then McGlone overlapping. Nothing much down the line, so he holds up. Williams gives him a lead, and he decides to go back inside. Here's where they get into trouble. Now they've managed to get it to Prendergast, and McGlone ran on. Centre wing, he goes by foot. Into the path of Thulis. It'll run away. Will he run out of room? No. Thulis now on the left foot, squares it up. Munkara couldn't pull it down. Ellis just socketed forward. I think he saw that player out of the corner of his eye. And Norsworthy snaps on goal and kicks a brilliant goal. Credit Ellis there. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. He knew he had a player outside him and just toe poked it to him.
I think you'll find he actually did. He just sort of poked it out there. He didn't overkick it, and that's a fantastic goal. Good work on the line there by Munkara. Probably unlucky not to get a free kick there. Got his head nearly ripped off, but he knew what he was doing. He knew where the goals were, and excellent work on the line there. But South Adelaide, good start here. Glenelg have had a lot of the ball, but they are tending to go wide. Glenelg with 9 inside 50s for no result.
What a snap by Norsworthy. Having a quick look, his first goal for the year. What a beauty it was. Lewis, kick run down. Free kick. Go to McConnell in the centre of the Bay Oval. I've had to get McConnell onto the football. South dominating possession at the moment. 18 kicks, 17 handballs. On the half volley, Kirkby. In comes Mules, uses Cranston. Douglas is on the overlap. Well played, Norsworthy. Got a body in there, and he's hurt his opponent too. Flicks out the back to Wright, who put his body on the line. They're going after it, Stewie. There's no big pardons out there. There's a bit of passion from both teams at the moment.
Exactly, that's what we wanted to see. And those ones, when you get those bumps with your arm outstretched, you feel those ones nice and tight in the ribs there, but good body contact.
Parry with the ruck work down to right. Norsworthy having a purple patch at the moment. Flicks back to Logan. Logan quick hands. Marnie just saw a man in the pocket in Moore. And the kick was well weighted to him. Moore's got no one on him. Decides to shoot for goal. Can he thread the eye of a needle? He hasn't. Just the one behind. Ben Moore went in good touch and then took an opportunity there, Stewie. And I guess with no one on the mark, you always got to take the punt.
Nagel takes the short kick in. Interesting to watch Cranston behind play, really struggling to get the breaths in for quite some time after he copped that hit. Now South, work at the right. Right goes to the centre corridor, Thulis. And he's got Clark running. He can take off and go long. Goes for the chip pass. And there's a push in the back. And Toomey will take the free kick. Sherwood looks at umpire Tim Pfeiffer. And if looks could kill, as they say. Let's have another squeeze. Yep. Oh. Hands were there.
They're there. But
we still don't like it, do we?
We don't like it, but they were there. I'll be a little bit smarter, maybe get the forearm there.
I love it. I still think it's black and white. If the umpire's in the right position, give it. Here's Toomey from 50 with the breeze behind him. Distance, not a worry. Let's have a look at that again. 3 inside 50s for South Adelaide for 3 goals. Glenelg, 10 inside 50s for 1 behind.
It's value for money. We were talking before the game that South have had the most possessions in the league, yet they're 8th on the ladder. But right now, if they keep this up, they're going to kick a lot of goals. If they go in 3 times for 3 goals, they are kicking with a slight breeze. But full credit to them. They're going to have to run well because we spoke about it. They haven't got a lot of tall targets up forward. So if they turn the ball over, they could be in trouble. But as yet, they haven't.
Just an injury concern down here for Glenelg. Trevor Cranston, who's been in good form in the ruck, has copped the knock to the left side of his hip, so he's in a little bit of trouble there getting that sorted out. And Byron Murphy back on the ground, hurt his knee in round 11. This is his first run for the line.
Thanks, Mark. Here's Dale Ellis. Now, Dale Ellis could kick it from here. Stewie just pointed as if a goal umpire was signalling a goal, and he got the distance and covered it pretty well. It slammed into the fencing behind the goal sticks.
No doubt, he's got a monster kick. If I was Dale Ellis, and he did rush it a little bit, he maybe back himself in and go back and settle a bit more. I'd back him in from there with this win.
Well, again, what's that, 5-9 for the season, so maybe that's reason for his lack of confidence. Just maybe rushing it a bit. McConnell now at right half back for the Bays. Just trying to steady things, and they do need a steadier.
They certainly do. Just get their hands on the ball, get their senior players with the ball in their hands.
Saw there Cranston just taking his position on the bench. You never know, he might have cracked a rib out of that. So they push it forward. And Murphy was over the ball briefly and bustled off it. And South Adelaide come away again. They got some possession out the back for Maddox, but just over the boundary line. So halfway through the opening quarter and a 3-goal lead for South Adelaide. They'll be pretty pleased with their response so far to what's been a pretty awful couple of weeks. That was high. Thulis will take the free kick eventually. And South Adelaide will get away from their defensive 50 yet again.
Thulis in short. Nagel over the top. Oh, this is where they come unstuck with overuse of the football. Clark then has to peel off a handball, chopped off well by Douglas to the run of Kane. Glenelg on a full burst. Wonderful kick to Kirk, to the big man in Smith. Now Smith will square it up. Marnie's getting back, and he's pretty good overhead. He always has been, Stewie. For a little man, he takes a good grab.
He's always had a fantastic set of hands, and he does get in the right spots. Just ducked in behind the South defence there, so a bit of lack of communication, but he'd back him in from here, 10 metres out, straight in front, and he does need to kick some goals to try and force his way back into that Port Adelaide side. I know he's stranded on about 98 or 98 AFL games, and he'd dearly love to get in and get that 100th game under the belt.
Very persistent player. Josh Marnie makes no mistake. Boots his first and Glenelg's first. I'll be pretty relieved to get that one on the board, Stewie.
Oh, they certainly need it. They've now gone inside 12 times, so to at least get something from it. And it was good. They were a little bit more direct, good skills, and he's got to hit the lead up because South defenders are sweating off on that turnover kick at the moment, and they have rebounded well. So if they can keep hitting their targets, that's where Glenelg's game's going to be, and that's where they'll win the game today if they are going to do that.
Just a change up front for Glenelg, a little bit of pace Jack Fosdyke, former Norwood Junior, coming on the half forward. Dave Mitchell having a spell.
Good start. Get it out.
Parry couldn't get it down. Button's kick was smothered. Parry goes again. Oh, the hand pass was loose, really. Douglas was clever back to Mules. Mules looks up forward, holds onto it eventually, kicks it long. Well done by Moore at the back, but he just couldn't get rid of McGrath. Roved at the front. Speak of Fosdyke away for the minor score. He's just come on, had his first kick. Nice piece of roving.
Good to see another Fosdyke running around. Nick playing for the Sydney Swans. Button over the back. Bennett. Well-weighted handball to Jakes, who can have another bounce. Punches inside 50. And then Sherwood in front. Ellis couldn't take it along with Toomey was there. Sherwood back in after it. Looks for the skipper in Mules. Kicked off the ground by Rudolph. Here's a man with no hair. Got it from a man with plenty of hair. Well done right to Toomey. Toomey's kick to the square. No one can mark it. Panozzo is calculated out of half-back. Good run by Glenelg. Kane shares it with Marnie, covering plenty of territory. Finds McConnell. McConnell, so on the rebound, Glenelg don't use it well. And getting in the gap is Parry. Parry just gives some ground to Prendergast. Jakes has found himself in a ton of space on the grandstand wing. Once again, no one marking him at the moment. Short kick, and well done by Squire, the first gamer, the 7th local player to make a debut. Out goes Toomey. Can't hold on to it. Good work, Rudolph at the back, and he will clear and find that man who is running into some wonderful form, Josh Marnie.
He certainly is. He does run up the ground very well for a half-forward line player.
Fosdyke thought about going back to Marnie. Now he takes his time. He can square it up, and he does so. This is Button. His last kick was smothered. If he keeps taking his time like this, he might have his kick smothered again. He decides to go short. The lead up there was Willoughby. Now he's in the centre of the ground. Hinge is on this side of the ground. He goes for Hinge. Kicks slightly behind him, made him stop, but he was good to Mules at half forward. Mules running down from half back now, can hit another lead up, and Kirkby is the man. And inside 50, that was good work from the Bays, from one side of the ground to the other, and then inside 50.
Good transition there. South had pushed numbers back on the outer side, but Kirkby's been lively, and he's got a bit of reward here because he has been putting some good defensive pressure on, so let's hope he can finish off his good work, because he has worked hard so far in the first 5 or so minutes.
3 marks coming up for his 4th kick of the afternoon, the former Hawthorn rookie. And that's away. He's hooked it slightly, and in the end, it hasn't even made the distance. Smith! Oh, it was so powerful, and then released it back on a platter for Willoughby. How easy was that?
That was fantastic. He broke through about 15 South Adelaide players there to just... He could have almost had a shot himself, but unselfishly back there. As we see, when they're in defence here, you want this ball to go through for a behind, and South Adelaide players just seem to stop and just left them all alone, and Willoughby there. Easy finish from that position, but just shows that wind has got a little bit on it because it did fade across the front of the goal face there. So maybe for Glenelg to be 1 goal down, it's not so bad, but they have had a lot of the ball.
He's had a wretched run with injury, Josh Willoughby, with the Sydney Swans for a few years. Now back at his home patch at the Bay. Button in the ruck. Squire in his first game goes into the ruck and got the tap down too, and we'll have another ball up in the centre. Yes, that effort from Smith shows there's plenty of passion in the Bay side this afternoon. The fans are out in force, cheering them on. We'll knock down. We'll get another bounce here in a moment. Just a stalemate. Umpire just lets it go, and then it becomes unproductive. It just ticked into time on in the first term, and this has been a wonderful comeback mini comeback, you'd say, by Glenelg after the Panthers got the first 3 of the match. Jakes did the ruck work. Maddox found a way out. Set it up well. Williams to the run of Sampson. Sampson's kick smothered well by Kane. Both sides doing plenty of that this afternoon. Willoughby, who kicked the last goal, decided he needed a bounce. Not 15. Umpire calls play on. Another stat for Marnie. Kane, another former Hawk, playing with the Bays. His kick is chopped well off by Prendergast to McGlone. And they've had players on this wing that have been able to get some space. One of them's Toomey. Got around Mules pretty easily. Long kick, and Ellis is on his own at half forward, but Rudolph came from nowhere and knocked it away. Well played, Sam Root off. We saw him kick a goal nearly on the siren to draw the match level with Port Adelaide a few weeks ago.
That's fantastic, that effort. I was at that game, but Ellis could have done a lot better there. He could have gone in and taken the space and held him out, and for a big man, that's what you'd like to see. So just sort of waited for it to come to him.
Carried out at Jakes. Now Mules, right had him straight away. Willoughby, close quarters, forced over by Bunkara. They'd be happy with that. Another stop play now for South Adelaide, deep inside their forward 50, 21.5 minutes into the opening quarter. Fair crowd at the Bay, although I must say I was a little disappointed early on at the numbers down here. Tigers every chance of playing in the finals this season. Bunkara is clever. Oh, over the shoulder, and he hooked it too far.
It's a likely type, Bunkara.
That was very clever. There's a lot of space at those stoppages for South Adelaide there in their forward line. So I noticed over the back, I'm sure that boundary throw was a little bit short, but Parry did line up, I think it was Jakes, to go over the back there, and he had a free rein, but unfortunately the boundary throw fell short.
To see Simon Munkara showing his wares there. I've got injured vice-captain Matty Smith just sitting beside me here from South Adelaide. Reckons he's the most skillful player on the list at South, so we might see some fireworks from Munkara today.
Saw a bit of that just a moment ago. Jakes, oh, didn't like what he saw. You couldn't blame him. Sampson pushes off, nailed in the tackle. Brilliant work was by Logan. Mules takes the mark. Glenelg away. Willoughby to McConnell. McConnell's kick. Smith tries to crash through. A lot of courage shown by McGrath to float across in front. Got the kick, and Clark. It needed to be precise. They're queuing up on the grandstand side. One of them Sampson, and also Wright. Wright with a handball to Thulis, but just missed his target under no pressure whatsoever. We've seen some indecision the last couple of weeks from South. There's a classic example of it.
It was just a little bit lazy. Often coaches do say when you're going to handball, do take a couple of steps forward, but he did just stand there and expected it to happen.
Jakes, who has the job on Fisher and should have got a free kick there. Right, then McGlone. McGlone gave it up. Fosdyke's quick. Away he goes with a bounce. He's got plenty of space to work with. He gets a shepherd from Moore and keeps going. He can keep going further inside 50, and then he was going too fast for those little legs and out on the full.
Sometimes they get the staggers, don't they, Stewie?
I never had that trouble running too fast that I got the staggers. I was always steady.
Turner to McGrath. He's been steady this afternoon, has Corey McGrath. He goes long, and they've got numbers again forward of the play. Here's Clark. Bounces his way towards 50. He can go to 50. He doesn't choose to go that far. He thinks he can make the distance. He was right, but the accuracy was the problem.
Boys, that's 9 possessions so far for Clark this quarter. Marnie also on 9.
He may just be the leading bouncer of the ball this year too, David Clark. He really does wind them up. Could have done a bit better with that kick, although he's a long way out. Panozzo playing down back. Had a hamstring injury. Panozzo just finding his way back into the league side and turns it over to Thulis. Thulis's kick is low to Ellis, who crashes the pack but can't take the mark. Rove by Nagel, thought about giving, and then decided to go on the left boot, but McConnell's there and just got in front of Toomey. So easy out for the Bays. They're queuing up on the grandstand side. Murphy's got some room. The kick had to be high from Logan, but found Murphy. Hinge is just wandering through. He won't use him and decides to go to Smith, and the kick was ill-directed and runs out of bounds. Sometimes the skill errors that creep in can cost you in a game. 25 gone, first term. 7 points in favour of the Panthers. Good start for them. McGrath. Sampson. Just pushed off Logan. Experience. Had Munkara. Decided to go for Parry, who couldn't take the mark. Over the back, Ellis. Couldn't go with it. Then he's got a problem. Lays on the footy. Umpire Pfeiffer says, I'll ball it up. Right on the point of the 10-yard square. And Ellis thought all his Christmases had come at once.
I think he kicked it about 30 seconds before he had it, but they're those ones. They could have gone in 2 goals up.
Douglas got it away. Norsworthy, he likes that pocket, can't get the footy, and taken by Hinge. Hinge keeps it low. Thulis can't take the mark, but away goes Lewis.
Well, Thulis fell over Lewis. We don't want to say that too many times this afternoon. Ball eventually out of bounds there on centre wing. Well into time on in the opening quarter. It's been an impressive start by South, although you get the feeling, Stewie, that a couple of goals from the Bays and they might drop the bundle of Panthers.
You certainly do. They've only gone in a couple of times and got maximum results, and whereas Glenelg probably haven't really got, you know, reward for their effort. They've just got to tidy up a bit.
Kane to Marnie. Looked up, saw players available and decided to go over the top for Murphy, who in turn went long and direct inside 50. McConnell claimed he was held. Ball still loose. Douglas was tackled twice. Umpire said eventually you have to give it up. McGlone will take it. Now they flare out to this side of the ground and to the far side, and McGlone's kick was pretty good to Squire.
Crossing, not a good sign for Glenelg at the moment. Ben Moore just coming off the ground, a bit of tightness in the right hamstring. He's having that assessed at the moment.
That was interesting, Sodas, because in the warm-ups I did see him working with one of the trainers directly on his warm-up. So now he's getting some rather more extensive treatment for his right hamstring, Benny Moore, and the veteran might be in a bit of trouble. And at quarter time, it's South Adelaide 3-3-21 and Glenelg 2-2-14. So a 7-point margin in favour of the visitors, and it's not been a bad game first up, Stewie.
I think Glenelg would be happy with that. They were a little bit untidy, a little bit wide, but I think if they get a bit more direct and the amount of ball going inside 50, we're going to sooner or later get some results. But South, you know, they had the breeze and probably could have done a lot more with it.
Yeah, and I'm guessing from those pictures we just saw with Benny Moore that we won't see him back this afternoon. It looked pretty certain that he was disappointed.
Yeah, and it is disappointing for Glenelg, and also Ben Moore has been playing some good football. So hopefully it doesn't affect the result of the game, but, you know, it does look like he won't take it further part.
So the Bays have got some problems here. Let's go to the VFL and the WAFL for the week with Angela Pipos.
Frankston travelled to Bellreeve to take on Tasmania in round 15 of the VFL, and after the visitors kicked the first two, the Devils hit back. The teams traded goals throughout the first term, and at quarter time it was the Dolphins by 4 points. Frankston started the second in sparkling form, booting the first three, but the Devils refused to give up, hitting back through Sam Fielding. The Dolphins blew the game apart in the third, Brett Dorr dominating with 3 early goals.
Dale Whelan opens the door and Brett Dorr shuts the door perhaps on Tasmania.
2 late majors apiece from Morris and Marcus Morigliani capped off a 9-goal-to-1 term that had Frankston up by 63 points going into the last. A free-scoring final quarter saw both sides pepper the big sticks. Frankston's 7 goals outdoing the Devils' 4. Morigliani added his 5th, as did Morris, while Paul Koularitis put on 2 for the home side. But it was Frankston's day, Morigliani kicking number 6 late in the term to cap off his side's 79-point victory. 6 goals enough to secure best on ground honours for Morigliani, while Morris was also outstanding with 5. In other matches, Coburg overcame a sluggish start to beat Box Hill by 38 points. The Bull Ants shocked North Ballarat with a 112-point victory. Sandringham survived a late challenge from Williamstown to win by 6. Bendigo were too good for Werribee. Jason Davenport kicked 8 as Geelong smashed Port, and Casey had the bye. Looking at the ladder, and Sandringham remain a game clear of Geelong and Coburg, with Williamstown and the Roosters next. The Bull Ants, Casey and Port make up the 8, followed by Bendigo, Werribee and Frankston. Box Hill are a game further back, with Tasmania on the bottom. Swan Districts took on Claremont at Port Hedland in round 17 of the Waffle, and it was all the Tigers early. Chad Jones and Trinity Handley starring as they put on 5 goals straight to start the term. But the Swans hit back, booting 3 late majors, before Jones's 3rd after the siren saw Claremont up by 18 points at the first change. Another after the siren goal, this time from Anthony Jones, seeing Claremont lead by 21 points at the half. The Swans were wasteful at the start of the term, scoring just 1 major from 3 gettable shots, and Chad Jones made them pay at the other end. Swan District's accuracy improved as the term went on, a run of 5 unanswered goals seeing them take the lead and go into the last change up by 14 points. Cody Garlett got the Swans off to a dream start, goaling in the first minute of the final term, but it was to be their only joy. The Swans failing to score for the remainder of the quarter as Anthony Jones dominated.
Jones from the 50 gets plenty of it, sends it on its way. Has he got the distance? I think he has.
The Tigers forward booting 3 majors for the quarter to see his side home by 5 points. Chad and Anthony Jones's 9 goals between them proving the difference in a seesawing match that saw the Tigers extend their winning run to 6 matches. In other games, South Fremantle were too good for an inaccurate Perth side, the Bulldogs home by 3 points. East Perth defeated East Fremantle by 10 points. Peel Thunder posted their 3rd win of the season with a 2-point victory over the Falcons, and Subiaco had the bye. To the ladder, and Subiaco's huge percentage sees them remain on top, Claremont's win bringing them level on points with the Lions. South Fremantle are next, followed by West Perth, East Perth just outside the 4. East Fremantle are next, followed by the Swans and the Thunder, with Perth all alone on the bottom.
All the news from the WAFL and the VFL with Angela Pipos there, and now it's down to Sodas, who's got all the news from the South camp and the Glenelg camp. Sodas.
Well, I can tell you here at South Adelaide, Robert Pyman full of praise for his charges. Very impressed with their first term. In particular, the work of David Clark on the wing and also Corey McGrath on the other wing. Now, McGrath's opponent was Ben Moore. We saw at the end of that first term Ben Moore in a bit of trouble with the hamstring. So Corey McGrath will probably be happy to know that Ben Moore looks like he could be in trouble for the rest of the game. But good work by them. Just a couple of areas that Pyman pointed out where he wants his team to improve. If they are in a little bit of trouble underside, he doesn't want them to cough the ball up, just to try and maintain possession and wait for something to happen. The other one was just a little handball over the top of an opponent. Don't waste it, be a little more careful, work to the sides.
Thanks, that's Sodas. Robbie Pyman there, having some good words, I think, for his players, and it must come as somewhat of a relief as a coach because it's the first time in a few weeks he's had good words to say.
Oh, exactly. When you can, you want to make the most of it, but you can't fault them. They've tried to run hard, and like they said, those wingmen have really pushed back and got back and helped the defence.
I guess the key this quarter, the breeze, we've talked about the good quarter that South had in that quarter. 7 points is the margin. Probably not enough in that breeze.
Yeah, and we'll find out at half-time, depending on how Glenelg go. But if they do go inside 15 times or so again, I'm pretty sure they'll kick more than the 2 goals with this breeze. So South really have to hang on and kick a couple themselves.
So as we just got a moment before the bounce, just how strong is that breeze?
Well, Neil, it is reasonably significant. You can see the windsock. If we get a look at that on top of the grandstand, it's pretty erect at the moment. So look, I think the breeze is worth probably 3 or 4 goals. Well, perhaps 3 goals. Let's not get carried away. So South, look, have done well, but Glenelg worked their way back into it in that second half of the first term.
Okay, let's go to the first bounce of the second term. Here's Michael Money.
Comprehensive boundary report by Mark Soderstrom there. And South Adelaide lead the contest by 7 points. In the middle, centre clearance important. Looked like a throw. Norsworthy bounces it to half forward. Mills cuts it off. Spears the kick, looking for Lewis. Couldn't haul it in. Thulis right on his hammer. Lewis will want the line here and gets it. And he'll get a free kick. The free kick to Lewis and a 25-metre penalty. So Scott Lewis will be brought to within 40 metres of goal. And this should suit him, Stewie, as a left footer.
Especially with this breeze, it's going nicely straight into the goal face, left to right as we look at it. So just aim it inside that left-hand goal post. Make sure you kick through the ball though.
Former West Adelaide player. Good-looking kick, those left footers. They certainly know how to sniff a goal. And he just runs back to Josh Thulis and gives him a pat on the back and says, thanks very much for that.
Always like to see that. You like to get in the opponent, get inside their head and let them know, definitely when they've done something wrong. But it's just a simple free kick that didn't really need to be there. You want to just, if you give away a free kick, just stand up, stand the mark. There's no need for that extra stuff, and as we see, it has cost his side a goal. It can be quite deflating for the confidence of a side. So all of a sudden, it's a 1-point game.
Yeah, well, 90 seconds into the second quarter, one use of the breeze perfectly by Lewis, and the Bays are within a point. So It's tightened up this contest again. Norsworthy went and picked it up. Hand pass was great. Found Clark in the open. Now Hanby. Haven't seen much of him. I think he was on the bench in the first quarter, all quarter. And Munkara leads out and takes a nice mark from Williams' pass. He waits. Ellis gives him a lead, but it's only really a token offering. And as a result, he has to wait some more. And eventually just dropped it over the top to Hanby, who's already had a couple of possessions. Unusual for him, decides to kick the ball, wasn't in the back. No, umpire says that's fine. And Clay Sampson will go back and have a shot for goal. And I would point out only 2 of the South players this afternoon are in double figures in terms of goals this season, and this man is one of them. He's got 14 for the season. And the other bloke is Josh Maddox with 14. So it's not a great goal-kicking record, is it?
It certainly isn't, but used his experience there, just held the space, and I expect him to finish off.
Oh, he's just got it inside the post. You're getting the money out then, Julie, weren't you?
Oh, I was getting a bit worried about my prediction. But Clay, I mean, he's just fantastic. We talk about passion in the side, and no matter how bad or good South Adelaide are going, he's giving 100% every single game. And if he had a lot of mates, I think they'd be a lot higher in the position on the ladder. But he's having a good year, and he'll never stop trying.
Some of the big stat winners so far, Chris.
Yeah, thanks, Michael, for Glenelg. Marnie leading with 10, Mules 9, Kane and McConnell 6 apiece. For South, McGlone and Clark 10 apiece, Jakes and Prendergast each on 6.
And Hanby had no possessions before Neil called that sequence of play where he got his first couple. Ball thumped down. Douglas can't win it, but was good enough to knock it away. Kane to half forward. Kirkby's in front and Lewis in the middle of that, and the thump came from Thulis and got it to the line. Good defensive work by the number 7. He's got a bit to make up for, Josh Thulis, after giving that 25-metre penalty away, plus the free kick first up. A lot of work to be done by Button this afternoon in the ruck against Parry with Cranston off the ground. Logan runs into his own man in Murphy. Another possession to Hanby. Mules in tight traffic. Got it back from Logan. Going back is Bennett. Snared by Smith, who got away with it in the first quarter but couldn't break free. Turner to McGrath. Prendergast delays the kick to Clark, and he has a Ponderosa. He can run, he can bounce. He's had 1, he'll have 2. He's had 3, draws a couple of players, loads up a long kick. This will be a brilliant goal into post. Oh, we'd have been just about going for the old goal of the year call there for Clark. Gee, that was a terrific run and just missed.
That's his trademark. You've got to wonder how he got out there in so much space at that moment, but if there's one thing that does let him down a little bit, it is his disposal.
Yeah, 2 goals, 7 for the season for Clark. Never confident in front of goals, you'd say. The Bays have worked this well. They'll get a shot on goal, and Lewis decides he's a left footer. He can kick it. Oh, and Smith's dropped it in the square. If he'd left it, it possibly could have gone through for a goal, and he's dropped the easiest of uncontested marks.
He couldn't have done that worse if he tried. I mean, that was going through for a goal. When you say when in doubt, mark it, but he didn't either. So, unfortunately for Glenelg, no score, no goal.
For his sake, we're not going to have another look at it, are we? Turner. Oh, that's a horrible kick for the young man. Oh, they're 1-1.
I hope someone hits a target soon. This game's got a little bit ugly the last couple of possessions.
Jeffrey. Crowd's fired up, no doubt about that. Ball's out of bounds. Back to live action, 5 minutes gone, and 7 points the difference in favour of South. Oh, they're going crook on the hill. A few of them having a crack at Smith too, their own men. Parry and Smith, can he make amends? Thulis in confined spaces, somehow found a way out. Prendergast couldn't be clean. Lewis is clean. Fisher hoists it to Kirkby. Can't take the mark. Roving done by Norsworthy. That's a slick handball. Handball back and missed the lot. Boundary throw in. Gee, this game has got a bit louder in the last couple of minutes.
I'm not sure what happened at quarter time, but both teams are very, very sloppy at this stage.
Boys on the hill getting excited, shall we say? Here's Smith. Got a hand on the ball, Lewis. Now McGrath taken to ground by Douglas, and we'll get a ball up 20 metres out from the South Adelaide goal, or rather South Adelaide defensive goal. Putting up a wall of players. Smith and Parry go at it again. Hanby did well. On his wrong side was Nagel and pushed. It was out on the full weight on it. It'll be Fisher or possibly Fosdyke. Which one's the umpire going to go for? Go for Fisher. So the best and fairest winner here at the Bay from 2 years ago will line up in the pocket, and with the breeze, he's some chance, Stewie, if he sits it up and think the breeze would carry it through.
Certainly, you've just got to think your way through these ones.
Oh, and he thought his way through it. Nicely done by Fisher. And the Bays are back within a point again, despite some of the worst mix-ups you'd ever want to see in a game of football.
What is it about that pocket?
I don't know, but if I was Glenelg, I'd be kicking the ball into that pocket every time. But I really like the look of Fisher. He's a calm player. He always seems to have that little bit extra time, and that's basically, you know, that's the class of those players. Nagel there, that's what Robert Palmer's talking about. If nothing's on, don't cough it up. Probably would have been better just taking the tackle and even getting forced out of bounds, but tried to kick it and make something out of nothing and paid the price.
Yeah, on his wrong side too. Those left-footers get caught on the wrong side.
They're always in the action.
A point the difference. Hanby just slung off the kick, just got the bootlace on it, Michael Hanby, and it causes a ball up. Thulis throws the ball up to the umpire.
Michael, just on Glenelg's injuries, Trevor Cranston still downstairs getting some attention on that left hip, which you got to knock on, and Ben Moore has shake the head. He's got the ice on, so his game is definitely over with that hamstring concern.
As soon as the ice comes out, that's the end of the ball game. And there's Fisher on the bottom of that pack again. Stuart Dew singing his praises a moment ago. Wonderful kick from a difficult angle. 1 point the difference in favour of the Panthers. Taken by Fosdyke. Long kick. Will it curl back? No, it doesn't curl back enough to behind.
Alarm bells ringing a little bit for South Adelaide here. Glenelg peppering the goals, and like we said earlier, it's only going to take maybe if they kick 2 or 3 goals in a row and they really get their confidence back, because they've had 8 shots on goal, but probably could have been 5 goals up now with the amount of times they've had it in the 40-50.
Yeah, 8 shots from 22 entries. And there's a fine mark taken by Douglas. And again, from that side of the ground with the breeze, he's some sort of chance. So he's decided there's no options in the middle of the ground, and he's going to settle and have a shot at goal. Richie Douglas, oh, gee, leant back and awkwardly kicked that. It's up there, but nowhere near the goal face as such, and eventually over the line. Disappointing outcome. He just looked like he didn't quite catch it properly.
Yeah, I think he was still having a shot for goal and just caught on the outside of the boot. And we heard it from up here. It's a real slap. You never like to hear that when you kick a football.
No, normally a dull thud when you kick the ball. Around the corner, snapshot by Byron, and he's got it. Well done by Byron Murphy. Another goal for the Bays, are in front for the first time in the match.
Really getting their confidence up. The crowd's come alive. They kicked a couple of quick ones. And that's that space at the back of the boundary throw, and I talked about earlier. It was South Adelaide's last quarter, but Glenelg again, there is no one at the back of any boundary throwing, and they're just running there late, and that's where the ball's going, and fantastic snap. Should be happy with it. Good finish.
Wonderful finish. Goals at the 1, 7 and 9 minute mark of the second term has opened up a 1-goal advantage to the Bays. Can South come back? Have been challenged. Are they front runners, or can they pull back? Right, can't collect it. In goes Willoughby along with Prendergast. Ball locked underneath. It's not coming out of there. And a ball up.
One man that's always in the action is number 20 for Glenelg, Tom Logan. You don't notice him a lot, but he's always in the dirty stuff. They call him the junkyard dog down at Port Adelaide. And he likes to roll around the mud.
Yeah, no, not much mud for him to roll around into, but he'll get into it. And someone's injured behind play. McConnell's been pushed, and it looks like Prendergast's done a hammy or an ankle or something back there. So does I know you'll be onto that, but Prendergast has been one of their best. Has had to go to the bench.
Michael, he's just chasing Justin McConnell as he took off. It looks like he might have jagged a hammy. We're just starting to look. Perhaps it looked like a cramp. It hit him pretty hard, but he's not moving very well, so he'll head off to the bench. Probably right hamstring by the look of that.
Yeah, that is a blow for South Adelaide. Prendergast has been in good form in this match, but here's Button. A lot of responsibility on him. He kicks it high. Over the back, Fisher. He rows it. Can he release? He does. Kirkby, with his non-preferred, opens up a 2-goal lead to the Bays. Rory Kirkby has moved around beautifully this afternoon. He's presented pretty well, and he's been clean.
I really like the look of him. That man Fisher again, just the presence of mind to stand up in the tackle, very much like Simon Black. He's able to get his hands free and just find the man. Obviously the voice was there, but also with Prendergast, like we just saw there, going off the ground. It'll be interesting to see if McConnell drifts a bit deeper in the forward line now. He's going to have to find a new matchup. Glenelg kicked a lot of goals without, I don't think he's kicked one this afternoon as yet, so good team effort.
So the Bays back in business. They lead by 2 goals, having trailed by 7 points at quarter time. Real test now for South Adelaide. There's Tom Haitley coming onto the ground, just looking for direction there off to the left of the screen, number 29. Just wondering whether he's got to go back or forward at the moment. Lewis was good, couldn't find Fosdyke. McGrath shut him down and the fence loomed up quickly.
Went off last week, remember, Neil, with that shoulder injury, and Tom Haitley, and really didn't think he'd probably come up this week, but started on the bench. He's going to come off.
He's coming off. He was just uncertain, I think, about matchups, and in the end they look like they've taken him off the ground. And it could be another goal coming up. Meanwhile, for Glenelg, long shot in there from Willoughby, well away to the left. And Haitley is off the ground, and on comes a better matchup, a smaller matchup for McConnell in Norsworthy.
That worries me there when the ball's on Glenelg's half-forward line and Haitley's going to come off the ground. He's just run off the ground. I mean, where's his man? That is an extra man that could be at the contest. You've always got to wait for the right moment to come off. Often you do see those things cost a side. Luckily, Glenelg kicked the point there, but not quite sure on that one. He's scratching his head and probably wondering why he ran off.
I would have thought he was clear on this side. If nothing else, you just hope, well, if we get the ball, I've got 150 metres to work with.
Yeah, either get right off or stay there.
Long kick by Turner, spots his man in McGrath. Thought McConnell might have given away 25. Good handball, finds McGlone. Here's an opportunity for Wright. Now Wright, has he got some pace? Decides to drill the Munkara. But Panozzo, poor execution once again. Jared Wright really struggling with that. It's a part of his game that he's just got to work on a bit more, you'd think. Free kick will go to Marnie against Norsworthy. Advantage rule paid. Sherwood loping out of half-back. Loves to run and bounce. Doesn't get much of an opportunity. Long kick. Getting back is Turner. Gave the call to McGrath. They're queuing up on the grandstand side again. The ball just won't sit for McGlone. Execution once again. They'll have a look at the tape again this week and say, we just need to be cleaner.
Especially those ones from a mark. You've really just got to hit that target. There's no pressure on either end there. He was in about 20 metres of space.
Parry knocked it down. Douglas has got Jakes for company. As a result, turned over. Oh, handball to himself. Nagel, and then he got it back to McGrath. Dummied one, went with the right foot, turned it over, straight to McConnell. McConnell off centre wing, chased well by Jakes, who got a hand in the back. Kirkby was held surely. Umpire still calling play on. Turner on the ground. Now he's got it. Now he's in trouble. Smith robs him of it. Umpire says, I'll have it.
Thought Colin Rowson lost his whistle there for a second, but he found it again to call the ball up.
Smith and Parry, and Mitchell was good, and Marnie kicks a goal. Mitchell knew he had Marnie there. The hand pass was good, and Marnie off a step kicks the goal.
Good goal by Josh Marnie. He's kicked 2 now. Like we said, Mitchell there, often players these days, they do know there is relief always at the back of stoppage. You always have that extra number there, so smart play. And obviously, Josh Marnie would have been screaming for the ball. When you're inside 50 and you are a goal kicker, you certainly let the guy with the ball know that you are there. And good finish. Once again, the breeze, he didn't overkick it, but it's still gone 45 metres for a snapshot.
Just goes back to that. I mean, anybody inside 50, if they're there and they want to kick a goal, they'd say something, surely.
Exactly. My rule was anyone inside 60, and I'd have a go. You do get told you're there to kick goals.
Josh Marnie, 8 kicks and 5 handballs. He's been good for them. Button wobbles it. Sampson, no free kick. Went back in, got it again. Clark under pressure. Marnie with the bump. Right. How's the next kick? It's a real old wobbly, dodgy thing to half forward. Rove by Parry. Here's Maddox. We know he can kick goals. The handball over the top. Norsworthy below his knees, just didn't bend. Here's Williams. Dishes off. Ellis sits it up. and misses the lot. Out of bounds on the full. They just look stilted going forward.
Just a worrying sign for South Adelaide. Clay Sampson's in the middle of the ground holding that shoulder. We all know that he has had massive shoulder trouble, so he's playing on, but with one wing.
Well picked up, Stewie. I think it might have gone out. He's played around with it again, and we know he's had 3 reconstructions on it. In fact, it was a game against Glenelg last year, round 23, where it came out. He was coming off the ground and just whacked it back in there. So in a little bit of trouble. Did hurt it a couple of weeks ago against Sturt, and he's had a few problems this year where he's lost a lot of feeling in that right arm. So we'll just keep an eye on him and hope that he is okay.
Played every game this year, Clay Sampson, so let's hope he can continue. Ball jars over the back, Willoughby. Good handball, smart work. Good shepherd off the ball by Douglas. This is Mitchell. Mitchell drilled it low to Kirkby. Oh, has he paid the mark? No. This is off to Smith. Can he straighten and goal? He's done it. Oh, the crowd on the hill said you've redeemed yourself. Jeffrey and the Bays get another one. They've kicked 6 goals to 1 in this term.
A fantastic quarter by Glenelg. Once again, that man Kirkby, he is in everything. He got caught behind, like all good forwards. If you're behind, you punch, you got rewarded. Ball fell in his hand, and very cool there by Smith. Thought for a moment that he'd missed an easy one, but slotted it through. But just back on Sampson, we're talking about all the shoulder strapping on everyone else, and he's got no shoulder strapping, so...
He probably figures after 3 reconstructions, what's the point?
Exactly. A little bit like Nathan Steinburner. It's almost like every time he goes into the ball, it pops out. So he is playing on, but with one arm, unfortunately.
Remember Steinburner, when that bounce will be recalled and will be thrown up, but remember Steinburner at the Adelaide Oval, he just took possession of the ball and his shoulder popped out, so yeah.
Yeah, his comes out when he's asleep.
Yeah.
When he sneezes.
Rolls over the wrong way. So Squire perhaps got the best of that for South Adelaide. We'll get another ball up. We're up to, what, secondary now. We're into tertiary ball ups.
Come back, fish.
The umpire's going to give this one a crack with a bounce. And he'll recall that, yes. And we'll go for a ball up again. So we're into 4 stoppages here. 2, of course, were nullified by being recalled. So let's go through it. Yeah, well, crowd obviously appreciated him throwing it up that time. It's good surface out there on the pitch to bounce the ball. Sampson obviously hampered with that wing. That was an interesting bit of work, but now it comes back to Mitchell. We know he can kick long off either foot. It wasn't the greatest of kicks. It'll go out of bounds in the forward pocket right for the Tigers. Well, they're attacking again. Crowd on the hill enjoying the afternoon. Cool afternoon at the Bay. Some mist and fog around Adelaide this morning. It's cleared away nicely. In fact, pretty good conditions for football, really. The temperature and no sun in the eyes as McGrath got it out to Thulis off the back foot. Smith stood up and then was caught. Released it to Fosdyke. He was caught, slung around. Surely, yes, free kick.
Fantastic tackle there. Desperate in defence.
Maddox. Oh, there's a turnover. Douglas didn't have much space to work in. Then decided to get it to Kane, who's found 15 metres on his own. Kane loads up a long kick. It won't come back. There's a fly from McConnell. He couldn't hold on to it. Oh, he lost it at a spectacular McConnell, and he'd have loved that one if he'd have grabbed it.
Fantastic lead. As we see here, he did the hard work. He got up there. Just couldn't mark it.
So right on the far side, not nearly as much space to run out of defence now for the Panthers. Here's Marnie. Not a bad kick in limited space. Well done by Douglas. Released it out the back. And again, they'll square it up to Mitchell, who's the long kicker. So Mitchell decides to go with the left. I'm sure he's got a problem on the right, but the left wasn't too bad. Well done by Turner, came late. Now Sampson released the hand pass for Maddox. Maddox inside out for McGrath. Mitchell came, and he'll get some warm applause for that effort. Just set it up a bit too much. The time on in the second term, and the Bays have pretty much dominated this quarter, and we get an idea now, of course, Stewie, now of the impact of the breeze.
Certainly have, and there's still some time to go, and they're threatening all the time.
26 points the difference in favour of the Bays. Wright finds Ellis, who's gone a long way up the ground to get a kick. And that just leaves Toomey at half forward against Sherwood. Umpire calls into play on, and he'll give this A fair old hoik. But he gets a lot of elevation in the kick. Up they fly Toomey, front and square. Norsworthy, Munkara, tackled by his own man in Toomey just about. The umpire comes in and will ball it up.
It's looking a bit barren there for South Adelaide. When they do take a mark in the wing up here, there's no real physical presence or anyone demanding the football up forward, so not good signs.
A lot of numbers back for Glenelg, but they just push back because they have to. There's another horrible bounce by the umpire. He let that one go, didn't recall it. And another ball up. Is that umpire Mackey who's having a bit of trouble bouncing the ball? Let's see what he does this time. Yep, crowd give him the big thumbs up. Well done, umpire. Fisher working close to the line. Throw it back in.
It's not a mistake if you learn from it.
True. Well, he's done a bit of learning today, Stewie.
I have trouble with that cliche.
Just trying to make him feel good.
Yeah,
trying to make him feel good.
if you learn from
Trying to give him some confidence.
Up goes Toomey. Mules. Short kick. Button left it for McConnell. Fisher. So the Bay's out of trouble. Speared low to Douglas. He won't let him down. A lot of Bay's players are running forward. In fact, it's Kirkby who took the mark. This is Fosdyke. In fact, it's Kane. I'm having a shocker at the moment. Kane's kick over the back. Taken Douglas. Tried to get on the boot. Smith went without it. Ball caught underneath, and it will be a ball up. I think I missed about 4 different players then. And very close to the Bay goal.
Ball thrown up this time by Ralston. Fosdyke too fast for himself. Now he's got it. Maddox has got him and steals the ball. Nicely done by Josh Maddox. Bounces down the outer wing. Hanby, he'll want a hand pass. He does. Now Clark. Gee, they've got some runners again all of a sudden. Norsworthy. What's the kick like? Munkara, I should say, is set up. And as a result, here come the Bays. Kane, he's quick. Munkara trying to chase him down. Kane gets the kick from centre wing long. Mitchell will fly over the back. McConnell. Goal coming up for the Bays.
Well, South undid themselves there. They tried to hit the lead up of Munkara. Did him no favours. Kicked it over the top of his head. Glenelg, you know, like we talked about South with the lack of presence, Glenelg got a lot of presence up forward, and they're able to go direct, and the half forwards are able to really turn and hit that pack hard and crumb with confidence, knowing they've got a contest.
Fellas inside 50s this quarter, 13 for Glenelg's way.
One-way traffic, all right, Chris. 7 goals to 1 in this term. They've opened it up in the second term. Fisher to Kane. Back to Fisher. Kirkby, who's well, just about the most productive player on the ground, you'd think, in front of a pretty good opponent in Bennett. Kirkby wants to go back into the centre to Kane. He can have a run and bounce and punch it long. Doesn't have the bounce, but he's going to hoist it high. Who can take a mark? They fly. Ball knocked down, taken by Nagel. No one to kick to, and his sole purpose was to kick that out of bounds. And umpire Ralston, he knew it, but he wasn't prepared to call it. He got a lot of cheering if he did.
Josh Marnie's gone across there and said, hey, hang on. A few weeks ago when I was playing AFL, I had a free kick.
You always run really quick to those ones that go out of bounds deliberate. It's a cheap stat.
Yep. Here's McConnell, kicked the last goal. Murphy, who kicked a wonderful left foot snap early in the quarter. Oh, just got around too easily. Then kicks it long. Who can take a mark? It's Douglas. Well, he is a wonderful player, this young man. He's got a huge future in front of him. When he plays for Glenelg, they generally win.
He's a class player, and I like that one there. And he just took a run and jump at it. Backs himself in every time. He's got great goal sense. A real balanced player, and I'm sure over the next 5 to 8 years we'll see him play a lot of AFL football.
This will be his first. And a 38-point lead to the Bays, and their 8th goal for the term. And they just look a class above the opposition at the moment.
Certainly are. South Adelaide are really struggling. Their heads are down, low in confidence, and obviously 6 goals down now. There's still a half of football to go, and in the first quarter they didn't quite make the most of the opportunities. So like we spoke about earlier, that could be very easily another big loss here for South Adelaide, and after the spray that the players got, they haven't quite reacted the way they wanted to.
Brittle, I think you would say, Stewie. Their psyche is a bit brittle. Here's Clark, pops up the kick. Ellis made the contest, Jakes roved it. They've got players inside 50. Parry shares it with Clark from 25. Should kick the goal, he does. Badly needed, and boy, is that an understatement there. Only second goal for the quarter. The first was kicked by Sampson at the 2-minute mark.
All came about the big contest from Dale Ellis here. Mules went back with courage. He's got up a little bit gingerly, and Clark followed up well. And I did speak about his disposal earlier, but no mistake with that one and kicked the goal. But it makes a difference with a bit of physical presence up forward, obviously from the centre break, because Glenelg have pushed their numbers back well. But at that time, it was 1-on-1 football, and South finished off.
15 possessions, 4 marks for Clark boys.
It's been good for them, but does tend to get a lot of his football across half back, but that time running forward and kicking a goal. Squire did the ruck work. They nullify each other. Logan over the top to Lewis. Advantage rule paid. Lewis has a man running for him in Kane. Uses Fisher. Back to Kane. He'll kick it inside 50. Here's Kirkby. In front was Bennett. At the back, Douglas. Can't take it with him. Then lays the tackle. Oh, McGrath. And a free kick will go to McGrath for a high tackle. They look so good when they go forward. That kick wasn't so good by Kane, but they just run so well inside 50. McGrath didn't quite know what to do. Norsworthy's given him something in the pocket. He's going to have to go with him, I think. Decides to go further to Thulis, who sets himself and marks. On the grandstand wing, Norsworthy running for him. The handball was right to his bootlaces, but Norsworthy composed. Got it to Jakes. He's got a problem. Back to Norsworthy. On his hammer is Logan. Logan slings him in the tackle. Well done. Norsworthy got the kick away right in front of right near the boundary line. Ball just trickles over and a boundary throw in.
We talked about overusing the football there, but South Adelaide had the ball on the wing, a lazy handball that hit the ground when their forwards were 1-on-1. You've got to back them in.
Just about half-time. 28.5 minutes gone. Second term. It's been dominated by Glenelg. And Smith imposing himself on Thulis. Umpire Colin Rouston separates the two. Seconds out. Let's go again. Smith. McConnell was clever. Lovely disposal. Got it away to Lewis. And then Logan. And they link up still with Marnie. And then the long kicking Mitchell bombs away. Douglas the target, one grab, couldn't take in the second one. Kirkby with the snap, missed, minus score. 33 points the margin, close to half-time.
Douglas looks good on those ones. He plays a lot taller than what he is. He almost marked that one, if not for the pressure coming at the front of the contest.
1 goal, 1 to Kirkby, and has been solid. Sampson finds Bennett, who's had plenty to do at half-back. Hanby got in some space, and it just went the 15 metres. Just not getting enough out of this player at the moment, Michael Hanby. They run him on and off the bench. He's played some reserves football this year, and he was one of their first pick last year, but that's been the story of South Adelaide this year. Kane can't get through, and he's pinged for holding on to the football. And Thulis will give it away in a moment if he doesn't stop this push and shove. Kane decides to lob it back to him. Ticked into 30 minutes of the second term. Thulis into Norsworthy. Away to McGlone. McGlone's kick into the pocket. Ellis takes the mark. Now he needs to go back and kick this goal just to give them a little something to reduce it to 27 points as Hanby takes a spell and Wright comes back on the death throes of the second term. This is a crucial kick in the context of South Adelaide's afternoon, Stewie.
Yeah, it'll certainly give him something to go into the half about. Distance will not be a problem. He'll probably kick this all the way to Jetty Road. He's got a massive kick.
Is it straight though? Oh, it is. Goal umpire just watched it float over his head. Dale Ellis gets his second. And South Adelaide get their third of the quarter, and they're just hanging in there.
Yeah, we just think if they didn't let in those first 6 goals, I mean, they are making the most of the opportunity, but obviously Glenelg are well in control of the game. That's what Ellis is there to do. Mark the ball, kick the goals.
Let's go, Lewis. Jeff. It's me. Come on, mate.
Got it back to 27 points. Who knows? They'll have a breeze in the third term, and maybe they'll get another one before half-time. Here's Williams at right half forward. Pops it up. Toomey, ball punched away. It's there for the taking. Released by Logan, then Lewis did well. Sherwood was good. Penoza picks it up. Now he's out of the defensive 50 for the Bays. Dropped it in nicely to Mitchell. Mitchell wanted to go on. Eventually he does. Running outside was Fisher. Fisher looks up inside forward 50. Siren saves them. So at half-time, the Bays a very, very good second quarter. And they lead it by 27 points. Glenelg 10-7, 67. South Adelaide 6-4, 40. And Stuart, do just take us through those goal kickers in the first half.
Now we have the goal kickers for the Glenelg Football Club. Josh Marnie with 2 has been very lively. Fisher, Smith, Willoughby, Lewis, Murphy with 1. And for South Adelaide, Ellis, the only multiple goal scorer, along with Clark kicking 1, Toomey, Clay Sampson and Norsworthy, just the 1.
So we look through those stats, Stuart. I guess pertinent to remind you, the past 2 weeks when South Adelaide have been playing 130 inside 50s combined against them and only 70 inside 50s for them, and that trend is continuing.
That's a damning stat. We see there 35-17, and very hard to win a game of football when the opposition's got the ball inside 50s that many times.
Quickly to scores from other grounds. Of course, one of only 4 times this year when a full round of football being played on a Saturday afternoon in Adelaide, with the Eagles, as you see, dominating Norwood. That effectively is a knockout match really for Norwood as well, because they're looking to gain fit position and they haven't performed well in the first half. Centrals over Port. Stewie, 2 of your loves, I guess. Centrals, well, not the Magpies maybe, but the Power. 47-43, that one's a close one at half-time. The Double Blues, as expected, a bit of a romp over West Adelaide at the Richmond Oval. Now down to Sodas, and a few injuries and a few battles in the first half for both sides. Sodas.
Yes, there certainly is. Former skipper Ben Moore's enjoying a rich vein of form for Glenelg, but today just jagged the right hamstring during the first term, so no good with that. He's come off the ground and he won't take any further part. Had started pretty well again, as we've expected with his recent form. Another problem for the Bays, Trevor Cranston doing some work in the ruck recently. Had a medial ligament problem this year, got over that. You can see the crunch there from Craig Parry, just very hard into the left side of Cranston. He's very tender. Had a lot of work on that downstairs, probably won't come back at this stage. And then we can just see there in the background, Ian Prendergast jagged that right hamstring chasing McConnell, so he had the ice on that well into the second term, so another player gone. Glenelg, 1 fit man on the bench, and South Adelaide, they've got the 2 at the moment.
Thanks for that, Sodas. And he didn't just jag that hamstring, did he? He absolutely ripped it. And so Ian Prendergast day is over. Here's the third quarter. Here's Michael Maney.
Let's hope South Adelaide can do the early attacking and make something of this game. They finished off the first half full of running. They need to continue that. Round 17 of SANFL football. Centre clearance important. You hear the umpire saying knock it out, and it did get knocked out. It's just a rolling scrum at the moment. Right dispossessed, Murphy, Logan, Kane, who breaks the lines. Inside 50 with a kick. Mitchell pushed, couldn't take the mark. And he'll get a free kick, David Mitchell. And it'll be interesting to see whether he kicks with his right boot or his left, because he's pretty much shown us only his left in the first half.
That's right, it's been one of those days. He presents well. I didn't even need to give away that free kick because it had gone through the hand, so let's see what the result is. What's your money on?
Well, I think he'll kick it. I think he'll kick it, Stewie.
Which foot?
He'll kick it right foot. Natural right footer, but he's just used his left for most of the day, so from 45, it's a good-looking kick. It's there. And that doesn't happen very often. We normally put the Mozza clean on them, but a good start. Justin McConnell's happy. A good start to the Bays. They get their first. They're back to a 33-point lead, and here's the build-up.
There it is. Kane, he's played well. He's got a lot of football. Beautiful kick there. And like I said, presented well, but just a lazy free kick. Unfortunately for South Adelaide, the wind has slightly dropped off a little bit when they're about to start kick with it for half an hour, so definitely not their day.
Out of the middle, Norsworthy, down to half forward. Jakes did well just to knock it on. Inside 50, Toomey. Tried to release it and missed his target. Rudolph took it away. Kane looked out the back, then suddenly realised that Hinge wasn't where he thought he was, and that's dropping the ball. Play on advantage. I don't know if it was in the end. And they got away with it with Clark, and Clark kicks a goal. Well, Mankara looked like he was in real trouble, and I was really worried about the advantage there. But in the end, Clark gets his second, and it's a goal apiece to start the third term.
As you said, Mankara, he made it hard for himself, but definitely no advantage. Clark's another finish there. He's kicked 2 now. And South Adelaide, a quick reply, which is important, obviously, for their psyche coming in with Glenelg kicking that first one, but they hit back, did it well. He's had a lot of the ball, Clark.
Thanks, out of the circle, boys. Fish, come out right. Thanks, mate.
Has been a good player for them.
Good stuff, get it out.
Parry,
Knock it out.
out of the ruck,
Out,
right, trying to get through. McGlone, good evasive skills. Maddox to Nagel. Clark couldn't run on. Some good tackling. Douglas opens it up. McConnell got it from Lewis, and David Mitchell's got it again. Thought about the short kick for a moment, but he'll have a shot from 40 out directly in front, and I'll back him again.
Yeah, I'll back him in again too. I like his kicking style. He's very fluent. He really does kick through the ball and doesn't try and over-kick it very much about timing, so we've really wrapped him up this time.
Oh, yeah, he'll kick this.
It's a fantastic kick for goal.
Oh, he's brilliant. He will
not miss
it. He will not miss in a month of Sundays. And he misses away to the right.
I might have to hang around and apologise to him after game for that one.
You should kick him from 40, straight in front.
South quick to bring the ball in. Bennett goes to McGlone. Wins plenty of the ball, McGlone. Averaging 24 possessions. Against Glenelg in round 7, he had 24 possessions and 5 marks. He's off and away. Clark, oh, he looked inside and thought it's not on. Now uses a bit of pace and a chipped ball for McGrath. Wants to go to the far side. They've got a runner. Maddox is off and going. He's got to centre wing without even receiving the ball. Now he can go into Norsworthy. Mankara comes on the lead and he misses him. Well followed up though, Mankara. We know he's got skills. Well, that's what we're told. He tries to square up the ball. Toomey with a big tackle on Sherwood. Brings him down. Mules follows up. Kane. And then McConnell was clever. And then back through the corridor he goes. Ball sat up nicely. McConnell with the 1-2. He looks into the middle and now they've turned it over. And big Parry. He chips it and turns it over again. And Sherwood takes the mark going back. A very sound defender is Paul Sherwood, and I ask you, what was wrong with him running off like that?
Umpire blew time on, I think, Neil. That could be the only explanation for it.
Oh.
But it just seems Mankara is the man they're going for just at the moment.
Certainly is. They're not looking after him with those delivery too. He is about 5'8", not 6'8", and they're kicking it well above his head.
Sherwood goes to Pinozzo. So if anything, they lost a metre or 2 there. Pinozzo's played all his football today down back, and he booted 6 on a Friday night at the parade. Going back a few weeks ago and was their only forward. He's making his way back from a hamstring. Right, over the top. Clark, quick hands. Sampson. He's got to get around a few. Opens that up beautifully. Williams to Maddox. Maddox over the top. Here's a goal. First in league footy for Squire. What a wonderful build-up. Well, we know they can do it, but it just doesn't happen consistently, and that man, Ben Squire, has gone into the ruck, made his debut, and he kicks his first league goal, but all set up by a wonderful handball by Sampson.
Lots and lots of handball. And what has let South Adelaide down, and we've seen it a couple of times this quarter, is that that final kick inside 50 has been the one that has really not done themselves any favours. But that time, I thought we'll put the kick in the bag and we'll run in with the handball. But fantastic moment there for Squire, first goal.
Parry, beautiful palm down. Can they take advantage? Norsworthy went in. So did Jakes. We know he's desperate. And again, brings down Mules. Gave it off. And they sweep it out the back to McConnell. He's always clever. He came as a half-back and he's turned himself into a forward. And he turned that into a great pass. And receives it back from Smith. Bang to the goal square for Mitchell. To the front it comes. Bennett works it out well with McGrath. And Thulis is away. And they've got a number on centre wing. And it's Parry who can take the mark. He's off and running and Ellis leads and Parry spots him. No, he doesn't. Just across the face. Rudolph goes back. In trouble. Handballs to himself for the stat. Then off he goes with a kick to centre wing. Nicely done to Lewis.
Lewis on the grandstand side. Has a man running for him with a good stretch in Fisher. Fisher between wing and half forward. Crowd making plenty of noise this afternoon. They know this is an important game for the yellow and black. And as usual, Kirkby has worked so hard up and down the ground. The kick in short was looking for Smith, but Sampson is a very good reader of the play and chopped it off. Parry's got to stand and take it. He does. Gives to Clark. Clark looks for Munkara again. 2-on-1. Over the back it flicks to Kane. Kane looks for Logan and finds him. He'll wheel away on that left boot. It's just stilted going forward, the Panthers. Short kick. Not marked. Marnie couldn't take it. Norsworthy pirouettes. Had a good first half. McGrath over the top. Munkara. Will he get a kind bounce? He does. Uses Clark. Clark goes long and looks for Squire. He just marked it inside the line. 74 plays 52. 8 minutes gone. Third term. Squire loads up a long kick. It might get there. Just across the face for a behind. It looked good there for a moment. It just tailed away, but the signs are good for South. Chris.
David Clark, 5 possessions this quarter, 20 overall, leading possession getter on the ground.
Picked up on his skill level, at least the use of his skills, though. I think that's the key, Stewie.
Definitely is.
So the Bay's just trying to take some time off the clock, slow things down. Here's Lewis, still inside defensive 50. We'll go to centre wing. He's a very good kick, not that time. I knew it as soon as I opened my mouth.
You'll get him every time, Neil, don't you? You've been doing this long enough.
Bennett down the line, nicely weighted kick, found Williams. Williams looks up. McGlone's given him a lead. That probably wasn't the best place to go that time. Inside, it was a horrible kick. Mules cuts him out. Lewis, oh, and that was a horrible kick too. Williams misses him. Lewis is off and running now. Mitchell's led back. That's where they go. Mitchell can swing inside on the right foot. No, he decides to go outside on the left. Why not? There's a 60-metre kick as well. Set up 25 from goal. Nagel couldn't rove it. Turner did nicely. And they'll get away with it through Thulis. He goes wide for the skipper. Sampson couldn't keep it in. Bit of bad luck. Just had to stretch that inch too far.
Just unlucky there. South are lively in this quarter. If they can get a couple of goals, you never know.
They were blown away in that early in that second term. Fisher uses Murphy. Murphy spotted a man on his own, and that's Kane right on the 50-metre line. Ben Kane might just carry the distance here. He's pretty reasonable kick, Ben Kane. How many goals has he kicked this year? He's kicked 6-4, 1 behind today. Ben Kane came across with his brother Chris. Good-looking kick. Goal umpire salutes. Well, he had no problem at all from about 4 or 5 steps to carry the journey and got the accuracy. Glenelg get a bit of a steadier.
That's a bit of loose checking. It is on Glenelg's half-forward line there, and you see here, Ben Kane's in about 20 metres of space, so when there is a stoppage, that's the time to, if you don't know where your man is, at least find him, or if someone can't find him and you're a teammate, find out, look around, is there any loose men? Let's just get on them, especially when you're 3 or 4 goals down.
Kane. And now it'll be a free kick in the middle. Everybody's confused, but finally it's a free kick for Button. Takes off, comes wide with the helicopter kick. It didn't find the man. Turner was good. Thulis, and now forward of the play. Sampson with a bit of room to move. Had to wait. Went back to Turner. Inside McGlone. Turner again. Nicely done. Long he goes with a kick. And the Bays have numbers there, and it fell into the hands of Munkara. So Munkara will get up and have a look at goal. Let's have another look. Watch this in front of 3 Bays players, and
well, he was getting ready to stand the mark on the Glenelg man, but just had a little bit of float on at the end there with the breeze. Now this one's dead in front.
So Simon Munkara, a Bathurst Islander, lines it up, leans back away to the left.
He's been the man they've gone for, isn't he?
he's presented well. And like I said earlier, it's just been the delivery that's let him down. He finally gets one on the chest and didn't make the most of it.
Couple of behinds to Simon Munkara. This is Lewis. The headgear. Sherwood presents across the face of goal. Glenelg looking to free up a couple of runners. Kane, who kicked their last goal, goes back to Pinozzo. So about 5 or 6 possessions and they're still inside their defensive half. Pinozzo to Sherwood, who ran off, had Murphy. Jakes gives chase, and a wobbly old ball to the wing. Marnie and Douglas. Douglas runs it over. So the thought process behind that, Stewie, just chipping it around to see if they can get someone over the top and create a loose man?
Yeah, that would be the thought process. Often when that happens, it's a sign that a side is not running as hard as what they can to create space.
Thulis uses his left boot, goes toward Norsworthy. Good punch by Mules. Norsworthy back in hard again. No free kick. Panthers player went in pretty hard there. Didn't quite catch. I think it was Williams who went in hard. No free kick. They just climbed all over him. 13 gone, third term.
Michael Benny Squire, who's made a pretty reasonable start to his SANFL career, coming off for a spell. Hately's gone the full forward. When these sides met round 7, Glenelg, well, they conceded 7 goals in a couple of minutes. Here we go. There's one there.
Well done by Troy Jakes. Good running goal. And these are good signs. He's fired up, Troy Jakes.
He's very passionate. We saw him a few weeks ago as well. And he's had a crack today. He's been in everything. Fantastic finish. He thought, well, if no one else can kick him, give me the ball. I'll do the job. They're very passionate. Got very fired up after he kicked this goal. I think he even grabbed the South Adelaide Guernsey, gave it a bit of a tug and said, yeah, we are passionate. We love the club.
Michael, just on that,
there he goes.
Just saying that when they played last time, South Adelaide managed 6 goals in 7 minutes in the third term to turn their game around. Stevie Kenner kicked 3 of those 6. He's not here today. I was going to say they don't look like kicking 6 that quickly, but one there wasn't too bad at all.
Yeah, Steve Kenner had 30 possessions and 6 marks that afternoon. Here's Maddox. They take it forward again. They trail by 20 points. Remember, they are kicking with whatever's left of that breeze. Jakes, who kicked the last goal, pops it up 20 metres from goal. Big leap by Toomey. Oh, that's a beauty.
Fantastic grab. That's that tall presence that we've been asking for from South Adelaide. Beautiful pack mark.
One grab above everybody else. Got a beautiful ride.
Tell me that won't bring supporters back to the football. Let them kick the contest.
I think I used the line last week. It's like that one golf drive that you hit perfectly. It brings you back for the next round. That's a memorable mark. And more importantly, he has finished the job by kicking a goal. And what do you know? They edge within 14 points.
Well, like you said, more importantly, kick the goal, but let's have another look. That's how good it was. Set himself. Great run at the ball. Beautiful grab. Finished the goal, but like you said, you do one and you think, why can't I do that every time?
Fellas, South Adelaide have won 5 of the 6 centre breaks this quarter.
Yeah, and that shows on the scoreboard. They've been able to go forward, Stewie, and kick goals. They've got some results. They've booted 4-2 in this term.
I think a lot of that's come from Glenelg have, in general play, pushed numbers back. So with the centre breaks, they can get it down there one-on-one.
Play on, good play on. Get it out, knock it out, knock it out.
Smith working hard. Hanby, slick handball back to Clark. Clark uses Sampson. Sampson has got Jakes. He's been important in the last couple of minutes. Troy Jakes kicked a goal. Handball over the top. Here's McGrath. He'll want the left boot. Decides to go to McGlone. McGlone has kicked it to the bleachers. Just got to worry about that.
Jeez, he did everything right, though, didn't he?
He did.
Steadied up.
He really ran hard. He had Dale Ellis across the face of goal. Probably would have been the hot spot to kick to, but he's having a go. You don't want to discourage it.
Sherwood, who can take a pack mark? Smith can. And the crowd, the Glenelg crowd, really give him a cheer because of that one he dropped. I think it was in the first term. Goes to Kirkby. That's a good lead. McGlone put his body on the line but couldn't quite get there. Kirkby spots Logan. Logan kept it low. Good lead, but Chop right off by Thulis. Button was a man on a hard lead, but Thulis was there to grab it. And the kick just to Northworthy's bootlaces. Say it in a minute. Here's Mert Rudolph, who takes the mark. And he's just about on the edge of his distance, I'd say. He kicked that lovely goal from outside 50 to draw the game against Port Adelaide down at Alberton a few weeks ago.
Beautiful goal. He's not looking too confident. I think he's looked everywhere but the goals at this stage. He's got to go back and settle.
Well, he got a goal on the run that day. He has a fairly decent run-up. He's got it across the face. They fly. Oh, McConnell, did he kick a goal? I think he did. He's an opportunist, Justin McConnell. He can snip a goal from anywhere. And the Bays just peg one back.
Good spot from McConnell there. Quite often as a smallish type forward, when there's going to be a contest there, you think it's either going to go through for a point or I may get lucky if I hit the goal face. And very, very, very surprised at how lucky players do get.
Well, McConnell now, that's just a relieving goal, if you like. He's had a good afternoon with 15 kicks and 2 hand passes to go with his 2 goals. That margin back to 20 points. Marnie forces his way through nicely. Smith, he went for the top. It's a tumble punt in the end. Nicely done by Bennett going back, and it's trapped in there. We'll get a ball up. No, Kirkby tries to get it out. McGlone perhaps reefed it out. Then Maddox, and then Turner, and then McGlone, and they did well, and now they've released it again onto centre wing. Nicely done. Williams with the lead up. Goes into the corridor. That's good planning by South Adelaide. They get it inside 50. They almost got a mark. They did get a rove, and Jake's off a step kicks a goal. Oh, that was impressive.
Fantastic spot again. You might want to take a deep breath, not pop a vein there. He's very, very excited. But why not? Beautiful spot. Once again, a nice crumb from McConnell up one end. Jake's a different kind of crumb, but beautiful finish. South Adelaide, they've been impressive this quarter. It's had 5 goals now.
What a goer he is.
Out the circle.
He had a weird hairdo when he first made his debut, and we gave him a bit of stick about that, but then he went and had the all-over cut.
Good work. Get it there.
He's been terrific for them today. Fisher out of the centre to Kane. Glenelg need to respond. It's back to 14 points the difference. Mitchell under no pressure dropped the mark. He'll want his left boot. Desperate to get onto it. Now he's got to use his right. He kicks it inside 50. Kick didn't carry. I've been impressed with the way Turner's gone about his business today. Maddox shares it with Bennett to Squire. So some youngsters doing all right. And Williams is one of those who marks it at half back. Got a call from McGlone. McGlone's got to go with a long handball. Hanby has Douglas right with him and then coughed it up. And they lose possession. Hanby saying, come on, fellas, I need a bit more talk around me.
You have to wonder, some of the passages of play we've seen from South Adelaide this quarter, you have to wonder why they haven't, strung a few more of those together, because it's been quite clean, especially with the hand. Their foot skills have probably let them down, but the handball's been quite creative.
Saw a shot of Jared Wright doing some limbering up there just a few moments ago. And another ball up into time on in the 3rd term. Been a wonderful quarter of football. We've had 8 goals kicked and 5 of them have come from the Panthers.
Good stuff, guys. Get it there. Get it there.
Here's Fisher running onto the ball, centre wing. Now he's at half forward with the kick. Poor kick. McGrath cut it out. Sampson on this side of the ground running for him. He goes for him and Sampson's off. Jakes comes short. No, he'll go and shepherd. Sampson allowed to run. Gets a couple of shepherds, pops it up for Ellis. Rudolph came quickly, did well. Now Mules inside to Douglas. Good awareness, now he's gone. Brilliant tackle put on him by Ellis. South Adelaide away. What's the kick like inside 50? Munkara goes back and signals kick long. They've done it. Munkara opposed by a couple, almost pulled it out. Williams round the corner, missed it across the goal face, out the other side. Sherwood gathers. Norsworthy's got him. Munkara's inside, left without it, and away go the Bays from defence.
Oh, Munkara had an opportunity there and blew it. Kane over the top to Marnie, who just keeps getting the footy. Down looking for Kirkby. That Kirkby Bennett Clash has been terrific. Kirkby got it to Fosdyke. Oh boy, can this bloke run. He kicks it long, looking for Button. Knocked away by Turner. Willoughby slung in the tackle, and the umpire said, give it to me. Oh, they're having a red-hot go at the moment. McGrath's the man with the tackle.
A couple of great contests there. We saw Dale Ellis just let Jeff Smith know he's out on the ground, and good coaching by Mark Minton just to put Button up there just to stretch the South Adelaide back line that's lacking a bit of height.
Umpire Ralston throws it up. A lot of players around. Button just got to rove it. Douglas, oh, he's magical. He gets it on the left. It has just faded away for a behind. When Richard Douglas gets it inside 50 anywhere, he's a danger man. He's had 4 kicks and 8 handballs, but his pressure and his tackling has been pretty good today.
And his value for touches, that's for sure. He never wastes them.
It goes short for that man Jakes. He's had a very good quarter, and he tried to be too clever. Murphy gets a bump, but he got the ball as well, and then he kicked a point. That was lucky. Jakes, down on one knee behind the play, was very disappointed with his effort. His kick was poor, and he almost paid the ultimate price.
He was down on one knee praying that he'd miss that goal after the mistake he made and got his wish.
McGlone's got it for the Panthers. Gee, they need another goal. Another goal or two will make things really interesting in this match. Over the back, Hakely. Not sure he's totally 100% fit. Hurt his shoulder, and then that tests it. Lost it. Hinge got a high tackle. Haven't seen much of Hinge. Away to Fisher. Fisher over the top. Found Marnie. Back to Mitchell. Mitchell kicks to the pocket. Looking for Murphy. Button's there with Turner. Turner does well. And we get a boundary throw in.
Yeah, John Hinge very quiet today, Michael. 4 possessions, 1 mark.
Hasn't been one of his better days. The boundary throw in. Button and Parry. This is important. Button knocked it over the back. Here's McConnell. We know he's mercurial. He found space. He drilled it. It's there. He has kicked 3. In a pretty good performance today, Justin McConnell, and just had the poise here, Stewie, talk us through it, just to settle it down.
That's right. You see Button there, letting it over the back. There's lots of space. Glenelg guys could have raffled it. We spoke about the space at the back of the stoppages. It's been used very well by these teams out here today. But McConnell just really steady, cool under pressure. Fantastic finish. Loves the goal. Glenelg's leading goal kicker for the year. I think that takes him to about 44 goals after this 3 today.
Kicked 35 last season, and he's up to 44 thus far this season. Justin McConnell, a former North Ballarat player. We'll get another ball up in the middle.
It's like a nursery out of North Ballarat, isn't it? Up that area. Gee, there's a lot of good players come from there.
Fantastic oval and facility up there. Got a bit of money to spend on it, score the players.
Button just forced to kick forward. McConnell read it brilliantly. Short little hand pass, 1-2 with Murphy. Now he's gone. Sampson ran him down, advantage the other way. Here's Maddox, centre wing. One bounce and looks up. He went over Squire's head, and that set it up for Hinge, who pulled it in with one hand. Nicely done by John Hinge. He looks up, goes short. Fosdyke can go short to Fisher. Just gets there. Fisher's got a couple on this side of the ground he can go short to. He opts for the long one. Kirkby came late. Couldn't get it. McGrath with the bump. Now Munkara, nicely done in traffic. Released it wide for Ellis. He's got room to move if he goes quickly, and he does, and he goes bang long. It's 2-on-1. Hagley at the back, a push in the back. It was an open goal beckoning, but I think Tommy Hagley knew. He clearly put the hands out in the back. So the Bays on this side of the ground. Lewis, Logan, Rudolph is next in line. Fisher runs, McConnell's in the middle, takes his time. In the end, drops it in short for Fisher, who made his second effort. Near the interchange gate, Adam Fisher.
Come here, run.
Injury interrupted last season, mainly with an ankle problem. Quality player from Sandringham in the VFL. Came across at the end of the 2004 season. His kick is just knocked out of bounds at half forward left for the Bays. Late in the third term, they do have a 22-point advantage, and they will kick with the breeze in the final term.
A lot of players around the football. Important for South Adelaide. They don't let one through here. Another bounce. Byron Murphy's a player with a woolly head. He's been have a real crack today, Murphy, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's kicked the goal and he's just missed that other one, which was disappointing.
Over the top, Fisher, third man up. Murphy in amongst it again. Logan couldn't quite get poised. Well done by Maddox. Uses Clark. Clark just had to throw it onto the boot quickly. Norsworthy, and here comes Button from nowhere. Big leg, couldn't take the mark. Norsworthy's trying to pinch it off him. He can't do so. Umpire Ralston says, give it to me. Ball up, 27.5 gone, and that is all in that third term. Mark Micken looks on. Not without his problems, you would say, Mark Micken. They desperately need to win this game. Robert Pyman pretty poised in the box, but they've got the job ahead of them. But at three-quarter time, the Bays 14-10-94 lead the Panthers 11-6-72.
So 22 points the margin, and gee, with the breeze, you just think that's enough, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you certainly would. I mean, South Adelaide have shown a little bit today, but as we see, the goal kickers there. McConnell kicked 3, he's bobbed up again. Josh Marnie 2, he kicked a couple early, playing a little bit more up the ground, and a few multiple goal scorers for South Adelaide. Ellis 2, Clark 2, Toomey and Jakes. We saw we kicked a couple of passionate goals for South Adelaide.
Yeah, you'd say passionate, wouldn't you? If we look through those stats, inside 50s, still a worry. I mean, the Bays are just creating many more opportunities, but in that quarter, certainly the Panthers improved in their method.
Yeah, it certainly did, and also the centre breaks. We saw they probably dominated that quarter in the centre breaks, and they're now back to 16-12. So they did outscore Glenelg in that quarter, which was, you know, it's good signs. You don't want them to just roll over and die after the, you know, being down at half-time.
Well, as we mentioned, the Tigers pretty much the favourites to go. Of the 4 clubs that are struggling, trying to make that 5th position in the 5, pretty much the favourites. They played one of their competitors, Norwood, in round 15. We're going to have a quick look through some of the highlights of that match. And one of the feature things for Norwood in this afternoon was actually John Meeson's form. He was good in this match. Luke Jericho, another Crows listed player, kicking a long goal there. But in the end, it was Glenelg that got away with the points. And it was quite a battle, though. And certainly Norwood were coming off a hammering from Central District.
Yeah, well, that was a massive loss for them out there at Elizabeth Oval. But you wonder about Jericho, where he's at it with his career, with a couple of guys going to play for the Crows tomorrow, and he hasn't been selected again. So it might be time to put his hand up for a trade and try his luck elsewhere.
Evergreen Benny Moore, who we know is sidelined with injury now this afternoon. And Bryce Campbell going into open goal there. So another Crows listed player who's going, in fact, that was John Pratt, not Bryce Campbell, but we know Bryce Campbell's going to get his opportunity in AFL football tomorrow. And there's McConnell, who that afternoon, I think he finished with 4 goals and was a real goal sneak. And in the end, they snuck away with a 13-point victory, the Tigers. And you really do fancy, as I said, with their draw, the Tigers ahead have Westies, Port Adelaide, a bye, North, Sturt and Woodville, West Torrens to come. You would really that they'll get enough wins. And you do, with obviously Nord are going down again this afternoon. It looks the way that they'll lose again, so you'd think that Glenelg will jump them on the ladder. Just looking now at their round 16 match, as we mentioned at the top of the program, they did get themselves into a perfect position, and then last week, from all reports, they were going to be up and running and going, and they just let it slip against the Eagles, and the Eagles perhaps shoring up any doubt that they have their position in the finals. Yeah, and going into a final series, you don't want to be a side that finishes 5th, that only beats the teams multiple times that are below you. You do want to go into the final series, having beaten sides above you, knowing just mentally that you've got that in the bag, you've got that look back on what did we do well, what can we do better. So disappointed they didn't beat the Eagles, but let's hope in the next few games they can play a couple of top 4 sides and knock them off so they can go in with some confidence. So nice goal by Salter, just stretching out, soccering through, and you'll see, I think, another roved goal here, straight forward and centre. Watch this one, straight off the pack, playing goal. There's that one I'm talking about, just hit the goal face, you never know your luck. Yeah, so the Eagles there, home by 21 points over Glenelg. As we said, you still fancy that with 5 wins, 8 losses and a draw, the Bays will dispose South Adelaide this afternoon, who have 4 wins, 9 losses and a draw. So that'll put South Adelaide out of it. And you'll still fancy that the Bays are going to make the finals, and that would be the first time since, what, 1999, if we look at this history of coaches and what they've done in recent seasons.
And that's a big turnover of coaches. So for Mark, his second year, and it's a good reward for him. Obviously, they're not there yet, and we don't like to tick games off as they come. But yeah, with West Adelaide next week, they should get a couple of points and maybe get a little bit of a buffer.
Speaking of Mark Micken, we're going to have a quick listen down the Glenelg huddle.
Okay, and then we get drop-off players. I think Thulis has been dropping off a lot. So come up the ground and then come in late. So you take a player like that out of the game, and then you're the first one in at the contest afterwards. Okay. Get our handballs received going. We had 27 that quarter, so we started to get our game going again. 20 hardball gets. We've got to get a little bit more in that area. Okay, so we're relying a lot on our defence at the moment. They've held up really, really well for us. Let's give them a little bit more support with our midfield accountability, our midfield pressure, so that when the ball goes in there, it's all under pressure all the time. Okay, so when we go forward, don't get sucked in too far forward if you're an on-baller. You've got to hold your ground a little bit around the half-forward line and be form up that we need to have. Okay, forward line pressure is going to be absolutely crucial.
Well, Mark Micken, pretty happy with the way things are going. South Adelaide, a good quarter. They kicked 5 goals with the breeze. Probably hit Glenelg as much as they could, and Glenelg still managed 4 goals. So I think Mark pretty happy there. Robert Pyman actually took his players over to the South Adelaide group of supporters. Very passionate. He's normally reserved, Robert Pyman, with his addresses. This time, very passionate, telling him this is it. He sees the season on the line right now. Here's Michael Maney with the last term.
Thanks, Mark Soderstrom. Mark Micken during the week said they need to get their house in order. They're not interested in honourable losses. If they get beat here, it will be an honourable loss, but a disappointing one. They lead by 22 points, the Bays. Important. Button. Mules over the top to Murphy, who keeps getting better as the game goes long. Uses Mules, but he's snared by Nagel. And the ball locked in. And a ball up. Well, gee, the first goal important. South, if they get it, you just think they may get on a roll here. But Glenelg, if they get it, might just put a nail in the coffin of the Panthers. Off the ground, Rudolph. Difficult ball to grab, but he did pretty well and found Fisher. Good poise by Sam Rudolph, because that ball bounced pretty high and he was able to gather it.
I like the look of Rudolph. He's always playing in front, backs himself in.
There's another player who backs himself in Bennett. Thulis working across half-back. Clark has been breaking the lines pretty well today. Maddox has provided a pretty good lead. Out on the wing and just juggled it. Says steady things down a bit. Let's have a look at the next kick, which has to be precise, and it is. McGlone, just couldn't hold on to it. Hinge, maybe he's injured, just not running on top of the ground at the moment. Hanby got the kick away. Into the pocket, Munkara in front of Marnie. Gee, they've gone to him a lot today. What can he do? His eyes are darting. He's thinking about giving it off here.
Michael, it's probably worth pointing out that the breeze has died down significantly since the first half, which augurs well with played here. This shot would have been tough for Munkara in the first term. Probably a fair chance from here.
Here he goes from a difficult angle. Oh, he threaded it! What a kick! That's his first goal. Well done, Simon Munkara. He's provided something for him up forward today, Stewie.
Every time he's near, it looks like something's going to happen. And I think when he went back there and he's looking inside, he was just foxing. Just looked like he was going to pass it, but he was always having a shot. And why not when you kick it like that?
Oh, yeah.
There's big raps on his skills. But if he had delivery like that a bit more today, he may have found himself with a few more goals. But he's been quite unlucky with some of the delivery. But he just keeps presenting.
Just 16 points in it. Rob Pyman. Well, these are the two sides, if you remember, in round 23 last year, it was a virtual elimination final. South Adelaide won comfortably and went through to then knock Port out of the finals in the elimination final. So a bit of revenge for Glenelg this afternoon, because I think if South Adelaide loses, that's it for their season. Thulis from behind, lovely punch. Good discipline. Got it to the boundary line, 25 metres around from defensive goal for South Adelaide. Benny Moore is the player there with the strapped up. His day is obviously over. Mark Micken is a gentleman whose hair is greying even more for the Tigers. And Rob Pyman has a look of expectation.
Oh, yeah. He would have. McConnell staged for the free kick. Nagel got it to McGrath. Foot race out here, and you'd nearly back Clark in almost every time. To Norsworthy. He's been handy for them today. Hakely at half forward, just too far for him. Hinge misses it, but Hakely's back on it. The handball. Here's Sampson. Can it be a skipper's goal? He's worked it back. A little bit too far. They look dangerous, South Adelaide. They've got to kick those if they want to win.
Fantastic build-up. Trying to wish that one home. We were a really close game out here today, that's for sure.
Margin 15. Fisher high, maybe too high. Lewis was perhaps pushed under it. McGrath's high kick back to half forward. Ellis was too. Jakes hit the pack well, released it for Tumi. Munkara was good. Selected the right option, Jakes. He looks up, goes over the top to Ellis. They're all working towards the pocket. Ellis was good. Tumi couldn't handle it. He threw that. Yeah, it was over the line, though. For the minor score. Tumi just decided, oh, why not?
Worth a try.
A metre over the line, he figured, well, who cares?
Fisher at half-back. Gee, it's 14 points the difference, and it hasn't been that close for a fair while. Big pack. Kirkby roved it. Smith got it. Murphy. Where will he go? He goes to Lewis, but Williams has got him. Good chase by Williams. Maddox. Oh, they're full of run at the moment, South Adelaide. They're popping the question big time. Hakely in short to Sampson. Has Glenelg stopped, Stewie, or has South just started the run?
I think Glenelg a little bit unaccountable through the middle, and Mark Micken spoke about that at three-quarter time. They need to tighten up, but they obviously didn't have their ears on at that stage.
Toomey's got it, and we know he's a goal kicker. He's booted a couple, 10 before today's game, 10 goal 5, so he's up to 12 goals 5 for the season. Toomey took a spectacular mark and kicked a lovely goal in the third term from right on 50. A lot of elevation in the kick. Up they go. Munkara was at the back, but the ball's fisted away for a boundary throw in. Just got under the kick a bit, Nathan Toomey.
Definitely like the spot where Munkara was there. He saw there was going to be a pack of 5 or 6. And it was very unlucky that there was a solid punch that went right over the back. But anything can happen. When you're a small forward, you just got to go to the spots where you think it might go and try your luck.
South Adelaide, 1 win, 6 losses on the road this season. Could this be number 2 win? Nagel outside to Ellis. We know he's a long kick. He got a good part of that, but it swung through for the minor score. Quickly scores from other grounds at three-quarter time with 13 points the difference here. Norwood and the Eagles, it's a 33-point lead for the Eagles. Port and Centrals, a 20-point lead for Centrals at Alberton. And Stewie, stop punching the air. Sturt by 54 over West Adelaide, and I think Sturt kicks with a breeze in the final quarter. From memory, it was 45 points at halftime.
Fisher with the footy to Murphy. Murphy about to get mown down by Parry. Got his kick away. It's high. Kirkby and Bennett. Bennett got a fist away. Here's Fosdyke. Williams has got him wrapped up. Ball flicked out by Mitchell looking for Fosdyke, but a boundary throw in. Oh, boy. She could go down to the wire. 7-minute mark of the final term. Mark Micken looks on. Always looks composed. I bet his heart's going at 1,000,000 miles an hour. Murphy, third man up. Smith can't grab it. No one can. Nagel slung off the footy. We've got a ball up coming here for sure. Umpire Ralston will do so. Richie Douglas, the last man up.
Adam Fisher's just lurking. Well, the South Adelaide players coming out of the pack now to pick him up.
Just drifted down like you used to drift down along the boundary line at Football Park, Stewie, when you used to sneak off the interchange bench. You used to run around, right around just about near the crowd, just so they wouldn't see you.
Well, I used to come on and off that much. Had to try something just to entertain myself.
Another boundary throw in. And I've still got a
kid's ball on the ground.
Kid's ball on the ground. David Mitchell.
Gone on the left again.
Obliges on the left, yep. Inside the Glenelg forward 50. Parry backhanded it. Hinge somehow got the arms free to Marnie. McConnell, he's the danger man. He lines them up and kicks it. Could he be the game breaker? Justin McConnell. He's booted 4. just when they need a lift, that man provides it for them.
He's always in the, I like the handball here. I think it's Josh Marnie just out into the space. May not have seen him, but it's in the right area, and McConnell just always seems to be on the end of it. It wasn't pretty, but he got the result, and that's a steadier for Glenelg. You think now, if they really want to play finals football, they will just kick on and win this game. See how much they want to.
21 possessions, 5 marks from McConnell.
Knock it out, Handles, get it out, get it out.
Big afternoon as we get a secondary bounce in the middle. Murphy wrapping up that man Hanby.
Good stuff, good body, get it out. Knock it out, knock it out. No, nothing in there.
Well, have they got anything left, the Panthers?
Thanks, Handles.
To some degree, this will be a test of their spirit.
Certainly will. The supporters and the coach will be looking for him to finish off.
Good body work, boys. Get it out.
McConnell couldn't take clean possession. Murphy, I wonder if that was clean. Now it's out to McConnell again. Nicely done again by Marnie. McConnell goes open side with a kick. Beautiful. Lovely stuff. And that man, Fisher, quality player, should be able to do the job from 30 metres out.
Class 8 McConnell. Beautiful kick to the open side of the ground. Jarks got up from that tackle on Marnie holding his shoulder, and if anyone's in doubt about how passionate you should be, get his individual tape and have a look.
Fisher hooked away over the line. Yes, minor score.
Come out, South.
Turner with the kick. Free kick goes to Bennett. Just a chopping of the arms by Marnie. Bad miss by Fisher there. 20 points the difference. Bennett with it for South Adelaide. Glenelg have led for majority of this game. South by 7 points at quarter time. But Thulis has got it now at half back. In short, right over the top. Just a slow build up here. Glenelg got some numbers back. They've manned up. High kick. Hakely can't take the mark. Just lobbed in space. It ends up with McConnell. McConnell's been the one that's been clean and sure. Mules. Panozzo. He's got to use Mules. Munkara's there. Panozzo was dealt with after he got rid of the handball, or as he did, because it's not downfield. And Panozzo gets a free. It's against McGrath. And McGrath just didn't come back on the mark. And it's 25.
I think Samson may have given it for Samson for not giving the ball back.
Okay. Panozzo. McConnell's lurking, and he's got it. And he's just the man to complete the job from here because he loves to kick a goal.
Sounds like he's a bit of a crowd favourite down there in front of the boys. So he'd love to put on a good show for him and put this one through. I mean, it's a fantastic game there. 18 kicks, 5 handballs, 6 marks.
He's definitely got a bit of a swagger about him, this boy. Here he goes. Justin McConnell. He's got to draw it back. Oh, he works the crowd a treat as well. He's booted 5. And under the pressure of having all the fans give him the verbal, he pops it through.
He didn't let him down, and they've just whacked up a sign in front of that bar there, the Justin McConnell bar. It did give the crowd a bit after he kicked that, but a very composed kick. You just saw there, he just kicked through the ball. Big smile. He's happy with himself, and why not?
Knew the camera was there too, I reckon.
Do you want a bar named after you? I don't know. Anyway, McConnell. Parry did well out of the middle. Kane being harassed. Lost out to Jakes. Slipped a hand pass to right. Forward he goes to Toomey. Just belts it long. Munkara's down there, so's Rudolph. Oh, umpire called play on. Mules shared it out the back with Panozzo. They went to the same school down in the southeast. Mules and Panozzo find themselves at the bays as teammates. Here's Douglas, his kick partly smothered. It stayed in. Smith along the boundary line and Thulis. He just wanted body contact and he didn't get it.
His eyes lit up.
Yeah, Josh Thulis. Hard man across half back for South Adelaide.
I think Smith said, no, we're up by about 4 goals. I'll just let you go.
And the ball in and Douglas roved it. It will be play on. It's gone a long way further up than it did across the ground. Clark released the pressure somewhat, got it out wide. Murphy should chase it down for the Bays. He does. He's at half forward left. Murphy looks up, belts it high, says catch this one. Smith does his best and couldn't quite take it. Parry went out the back with a hand pass, and the boys in the bar are saying hang on, that was deliberate, out of bounds. There they are, giving the word to Craig Parry.
They're certainly fired up on the hill. Just like Glenelg are fired up in this game. When it was there to be won, they wanted it a bit more. Maddox got a high tackle. You get a free kick, Josh Maddox. He's kept trying all day for the Panthers. Wright gives him something on the outer side. The Maddox kick is perfection. Turner with a good dash of pace and then just left the footy behind. Poor bounce. Falls to Lewis. Smith will take the mark. Oh dear. Well, the young man, James Turner, put the afterburners on and then the bounce just eluded him.
Very unlucky. McConnell there, I think we could hear him calling for Smith to leave that one for him. He wanted to run into an open goal. Him and about 55 people on the hill there.
I would have said he was 50-50 to get the ball anyway. I would have gone straight through Smith's hands. That's all we saw earlier.
Oh, he's redeemed himself, Jeff Smith. He's kicked his second. And it's shut the gate now. They have a bit of a chuckle about the one that got away from James Turner.
Yeah, I think McConnell said, didn't you hear me? And Smith said, yeah, but you weren't getting it. Definitely good finish there, though. He's been good today, especially with Frankston going down early. He has gone on the ball a couple of times as well and given Button a bit of a breather. He's been quite solid.
Originally from East Perth and a Geelong rookie, and then finding his way here to the SANFL, Jeff Smith. So TV Tim Pfeiffer, the umpire, coming in and throwing the ball up. He got that a couple of years ago when he umpired about 5 TV games in a row. Right, off to the skipper Sampson. Knew he was in trouble, so expertly went diagonally across the square to McGrath. Inside 50, too much carry on that. Wright did well. Munkara's out wide. Wright straightens, should kick a goal and doesn't make the distance. Rudolph. What a journey for Rudolph. We'll come back to that in a minute too, because Rudolph was once taught by Mark Micken at Emmanuel College. Finds himself back here, journey through Brisbane and Melbourne. And now he's back with the Bays, and lo and behold, Mark Micken is the coach of the Bays.
Footy can take you to a lot of places. Some you probably prefer not to go sometimes. Norsworthy to Jakes. Got a call from Douglas. Wants to play on. Gave it to Murphy. Here come Glenelg again. Guess who's on the end of it? McConnell tries to milk a 25. Thought about a short pass for a millisecond, I reckon.
That's why I think he fell over after he marked. He saw the loose man. He thought, no, if I fall over, they'll give me a little bit of time to get up, and then I'm going to have the shot.
Stewie, he's not as cynical as you were.
No, they're the little tricks I used to do.
Exactly. He's not that cynical, surely.
We've learned a lot today, Stewie.
He's doing it for the crowd. Why not?
Here's McConnell. He has booted half a dozen. Number 33. I think I might have said early in the quarter, can he be the game breaker? He has.
He has been. Murphy's been good this last quarter. I think the boys have called his name a fair few times through the middle. A lot of passages there. He's linked up well coming out of the middle, but once again, South Adelaide skills and turnover, and Glenelg are really making him pay now, and they should kick away, get some percentage there. Connell's best on ground by a mile.
That would be the minor fist pump, that one from Justin McConnell, and here he goes. He's off again, coming off centre wing, around Jakes. He's got his measure now, up inside 50. Nice kick, Marnie in front of the eyes, opposed to young Turner. And Josh Marnie will get an opportunity to add to the goal-kicking list for the Bays.
Beautiful kick from McConnell. Once again, Can't remember who the player was he kicked to in the other quarter, but just to the open side of the ground, which does take vision, number one, but secondly skill, just to kick it advantage side to a player running onto the ball. Didn't drill it, just popped it up, a 40-metre kick. This is Josh Marnie's distance here, about 40 metres out.
Talk about football journeys through Collingwood, the Western Bulldogs, Port Adelaide, and time at Essendon and their reserves team. Josh Marnie puts all that experience to kicking a point. Wrap him up and look what they do.
Tell you one thing about Josh Marnie, when he first came to Port Adelaide, his kicking for goal was pretty ordinary, but that's one part of his game that he has worked extremely hard on, become one of the most reliable kicks for goal, really.
Certainly worked hard on it.
Button finds Fosdyke. One of the real up-and-coming stars in the competition. In short to Kane, who's kept running. So too this man, Fisher. Another inside 50 kick. Marnie! Oh, thought he'd have to be paid the mark or free kick. Jakes looks up at the umpire as if to say, what was that all about? But a push. And Josh Marnie gets another chance to have a shot on goal, this time from an acute angle.
No one's missed from this pocket today, so doesn't want to let the team down. And blue boots, you'd want to kick goals if you're wearing blue boots like that. That's what Mark Williams always used to say, if you wore the coloured boots, you better kick the goals.
Coloured boots are more prevalent than normal black boots these days, aren't
If you
they?
wear black, it's out of the ordinary.
Speaking of ordinary, that's a behind from Josh Marnie.
What are you saying about his kicking improving?
Josh
Only when he plays for the Power.
I'd be disappointed with that. He's got 2 goals and he's just had a couple of shots then. Definitely 4 goals straight looks a lot better than 2-2 on the scoreboard at the end of the day when you're trying to get another game up in the AFL.
Well, Dale Ellis kicked it behind at the 5-minute mark, and the margin was just 13 points for South Adelaide. They were trailing by just 13 and they were a chance. Since then, it's been all the bays. Oh, what a big almost from Ellis. I was about to say a big mark, but he didn't pull it in. Follows through, missed the ball. Hinge taken down. McGrath, who has been pretty good this afternoon, Corey McGrath. Let's have another look at this. He got a lovely sit. Oh, it was all leap, and then he just sat there for a moment on Toomey's shoulders. Jakes in traffic, did well. Got it wide for Williams. Williams down the line. That was a good kick. From the position he was in, he did very well. He got 30 metres and got it on target. McGlone couldn't pull the ball in.
He definitely had all his momentum going backwards, so he did well to get it that far down the ground.
Douglas slipped a lovely hand pass for Mules. Went wide for Kane. Looks up inside 50. Mitchell came and then he didn't. So he goes long to a position rather than a player. Mitchell gets it. Feeds out the hand pass. Lewis wanted his left leg. Taken down. Umpire says, my ball.
How about around the neck? Said Lewis.
You're right, Simon. Simon.
Just tried to barge his way through there. There it goes. A semi case. McConnell trying to conjure something close to the line. And a boundary throw in. 121 plays 81. 40-point lead to Glenelg, who keep their season alive. No honourable loss here. They will win this afternoon. Douglas thought he got a shove. No free kick. Back in after it again. Another ball up. South have battled hard, but at the end of the day, Glenelg has just had a bit too much poise. And they've had Justin McConnell. Thurles. Left footer just went the 15 to Jakes. Crowd didn't think it went 15. On the outer side, McGrath. Over the top to Clark. A lot of stings gone out of South's game at the moment. Kicks down the line. Munkara lurking. Murphy. Kirkby. Fosdyke. Just a bit fierce for him. Close to the line. Clark tries to crash through and runs out of bounds. Boundary throw in, and Lewis wants to go on with Clark.
Lewis and Clark?
Lewis and Clark. Very good, Neil. Change down there. Young Squire's been pretty good, Sodas.
Yeah, look, I think he's done okay. His first run in from the Happy Valley Vikings, and look, he kicked the goal, and he's been quite handy partnering Parry in the ruck. So, yeah, good start to his career.
Ellis couldn't take it away, but he could tackle Hinge. We'll get another ball up. Button shouldn't have any problems with that, but Jake's brilliant little snatch away. He knew where the ball was going. Inside half forward with the kick. Bounce favoured Mules, and then it didn't. Now Pinozo comes away. One bounce, two. Takes his time. Running players available, a lot of running players available. Fosdyke was one of them. Towards half forward he goes. Then he takes off. Afterburner's on. Ran a long way. Got to 50. Kicked a goal. Lovely finish. He just looked up and assessed what he had in front of him. Thought, well, you can't catch me. Kicked a goal.
Exactly. As they came forward here, he's looking up. I looked down the ground and there's a lot of tired boys out there, and there wasn't a lot of movement in the Glenelg forward line, so Fosdyke wasn't tired. He took the extra bounce and just took him on. He's got some pace, that's for sure.
Well, he's not frightened to use it. Sherwood, it's got a bit of ice going. There's a bit of ice down there on the Glenelg bench, so does Sherwood, the latest man. Surely no hamstring problems for him.
Oh, look, I think he's okay. He came off about halfway through this final term just to rest up. But, of course, the other two problems where there was plenty of ice, as you mentioned. Benny Moore gone in the first term with a hamstring. Cranston gone halfway through the first term with a knock to the hip.
Back in the centre. Nagel told by the umpire to knock it out. Has he done so?
Hey, guys, thanks too much.
Just held to him. Ben Nagel argues his case.
Good body.
Parry over the top. Couldn't deliver it to a teammate. Willoughby has been sitting on the bench for a while and then just dumped unceremoniously by Parry, as South realised this season is pretty much over.
You got each other, play on. Knock it out.
Just a rolling scrum at the moment. The ball just jars loose, and umpire Pfeiffer will call for it. And another ball up. 25.5 gone. 25 seconds into, or 5 minutes, I should say. 5.5 minutes into time on.
Back. No, don't push him forward. No,
free kick against Parry will go to Button.
Play on.
Button to Rudolph, who loves to run down and kick goals from full back, then delivers, and Toomey just got into him after he kicked the ball, and a free kick will go downfield. And the undisciplined play that has riddled South Adelaide continues as David Mitchell might just line this one up in his left.
You never know. He's a bit hard to pick at the moment, the way he's been going today.
Mitchell. I think this will be a right footer. Good kick. Oh, yeah, lovely kick off the boot by David Mitchell. It's up to 52 points. And Mitchell's got a couple. Solid kick.
Defence, like we spoke, I think we said it all day. Here's a lovely kick for goal. It's very relaxed. Saw the undisciplined free kick there, which is disappointing for South Adelaide. That's definitely, at this stage of the game, you don't want to give them any easy goals. And Mitchell just came in, popped it up with the breeze, and about 60 metres down the track and kicked the goal.
I don't think he allowed for the breeze. I just think he thumped it. He just did.
He's got a big leg.
That went really straight, didn't it? It was a very powerful kick. As you said earlier too, Stu, you hear that thump off the boot and you really know it's going places. Here's Willoughby out of the middle, another one for the Bays. Oh, yeah! Oh, they're just finishing so well. 58 points the margin. At the 5-minute mark, it had been whittled away to 13 by South Adelaide, and now it's out to 58.
It's definitely getting ugly now for South Adelaide. They've got to fight this out. And basically, senior players out on the ground have just got to say, right, that's it, one-on-one, no more goals to Glenelg. Doesn't matter if South don't get a goal, just this is it, no further. Make a stand, that's for sure. This is the stuff that really does eat away at your confidence, not just for the next week, but the rest of the season, and sometimes into the next.
South Adelaide president maybe looking over his notes. He may give him another spray after this. McGlone. He's got it forward, Mules. They just team so beautifully together. Rudolph back inside. Mules just playing with them at the moment. Free kick, advantage. Willoughby goes to Logan. Willoughby keeps running. Kicked the last goal. Bit of fancy work. Sits it up. And Bennett takes an uncontested mark. Clark at half-back. Gee, it's all just gone wrong for them. Only trailed by 22 points at three-quarter time. We all thought there may be a chance, but they've been blown out of the water. They trailed by 58. They've just stopped running in Glenelg. And I think, personally, they just wanted it more, Stewie.
They certainly have. A bit more desperate. South Adelaide almost stopped running.
Clark looks for Toomey, but that's a wonderful mark in front by Rudolph. Just got his way in front. That's hurt him too. Knocked the wind out of him. Logan got it from Panozzo. Button. Good call. Told Lewis to leave it. And here's Kane.
And Kane from 60 just sits it up. Says, mark that, there was holding in there. It'll be a free kick to McConnell. He'll kick after the siren, and he will be kicking for his 7th goal of the afternoon. Justin McConnell with the strains of Tigerland belting out in the background. It'll be 25 metres as well. Wait on it. Yes, it will. You can guarantee McConnell's going to end up with 7 goals. And he's going to give it to the crowd and probably give it to South Adelaide as well.
This is his equal highest tally in an SANFL game, boys.
Justin McConnell lobs through the goal. The margin scoots out beyond 10 goals. South Adelaide would be absolutely, well, the fans would be absolutely devastated. I don't know about the players, but that is quite a flogging in the end, Stuart. And let's have a look at that final score. Glenelg 22-13, 145. South Adelaide 12-9, 81.
It's disappointing things like even that 25-metre penalty there for mouthing off in the centre of the ground. It's little things like that and discipline that creep into the game that you really don't like to see as a football club, coach or a supporter.
7 goals for Justin McConnell. He'd be a happy man, and he's had a lot to say to the crowd. Now he's going to say something to Mark Soderstrom.
Very, very happy man, no doubt about that. Now, Justin, it turned into a bit of a procession at the end. I just thought their third quarter, they had a crack at you. It looked all right at the start of the last, but you guys steadied nicely.
Yeah, it was good effort by the boys, I suppose. They come in us in the last quarter and shows a bit of character to win by that when they were so close in that last quarter.
You jagged 7, I think that's about 48 for the year. I think you made a good start to your SANFL career last year with 30-odd. Just seem to have taken another step up this year.
Yeah, it's been good. I've probably played permanent down forward this year, but the delivery by the midfielders has been exceptional today, especially with Mouse out, so the boys stood up.
Richie Douglas was a nice little in for Backwell being out, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's probably our best player, and you can see why he is, and probably next week he'll be back up, I'd say.
And you look like you enjoyed a little bit of interaction with the boys up on Snouts Hill there at the bar.
Yeah, they're my sponsors actually, so I keep them happy, and they buy me a couple of beers after the game. So.
Well, I think 7 goals will keep them very happy. You've earned a few beers. Enjoy, mate.
All right, thanks, Otis. Thanks, mate.
They're actually referred to as Snouts Louts up there on the bar. And they enjoyed their afternoon in the end. And Justin McConnell certainly came through for them, didn't he?
Yeah, certainly. I mean, and it wasn't just the 7 goals he kicked. He was creative up the ground, especially early on when Prendergast was on him. And I did mention when Prendergast went off, maybe it was a chance for McConnell to drift forward and kick some goals. And he didn't let me down. He kicked another 7 after that. So he's had a big day out.
John Hinge, Richie Douglas, some of the players there. And Clay Sampson dished out one to the opposition captain, Penny Mules, who obviously got that blood nose. I did watch behind play, and he actually helped him up and said, sorry, mate, I didn't mean that.
Yeah, he definitely, just as he handled over the top, he sort of threw the left arm up to try and almost just to intercept, but, you know, it definitely was an accident, and Clay Sampson's shown he's not that kind of player that would do something like that permanently, so helped him up. Fair player.
Nice touch there with Justin McConnell giving the young supporter the footy. A couple of footies being handed out. In fact, there'll be 21 footies being handed out by the Bows, one for each player, then going into the crowd this afternoon. Just trying to keep the spirit down here. And let's face it, they, as I did say all afternoon, they are the favourites to snatch that 5th spot in the finals.
Yeah, and if you're a Glenelg supporter and you're not on board yet, get on board now, because like he said, if they're going to play finals football for the first time for a long time, it's going to be a fantastic atmosphere around the club and around the area to get behind your local football team.
Well, I'll get Brett Backwell back, the Magarey medalist. They'll get him back next week for the game against West Adelaide. And the Bays are building, you never know. They have the longest streak outside the finals now, courtesy of the fact that South Adelaide, of course, beat them to a finals position last year. 1999, the last time they appeared. Let's see how they did it. And certainly they were challenged early on this afternoon by South, who came out, and we expected a reaction after a couple of bad losses.
They certainly were. I think they kicked 3 goals straight. A fantastic goal here. We talked about the little chip out from Dale Ellis, and fantastic snap from that pocket. I think they had 3 goals on the board very early on, but Glenelg had a lot of the football. We see here, it just burst through. I think it's Willoughby here that snaps the winning goal, a straight goal. But, I mean, they were in control all day. They had a lot of the football. It was only a question of when, really. South did threaten at times, but when they got close, you know, Glenelg kicked away.
That goal from Murphy was to put the Tigers in front at the 9-minute mark of the second term. And after that, it was pretty much in control, the Tigers, although South did have a patch, late in the third quarter, early in the last, when we thought, oh, here they come.
Yeah, they did show a bit. We saw Josh Marnie. He kicked a couple of goals. Kirkby was really good in the first half. Bennett tidied up on him in the second half, but we spoke about Smith. He kicked a couple of goals. He did give Button a rest on ball. We saw Jarks here. He kicked a couple of good goals in that third quarter and really did try and fire the side up. And he tried his heart out all day, so you can't question his effort. I think this is his second one, just a front and square crumb. Beautiful half-volley pick-up. And as you can see, he loves his club, he loves his footy. But unfortunately, he didn't have as many friends as what he would have liked today.
No, that was probably South Adelaide's best passage of play for the match. Interesting, I mentioned it before that Jake's come from Mypolonga Select's Mudlarks. Well, he's not quite a mudlark, and he wasn't that today, but nevertheless, he's come from the local area, and they've flooded a few of their locals this afternoon. As we look through those scores, and at quarter time, it was 7 points in favour of South, 27 to Glenelg at half-time with the breeze, and then 22 at three-quarter time. In the last quarter, they, well, look at that. 8 goals they kicked to 1 and really kicked away. 145 plays, 81. I'll look through the stats in a moment. We'll just get through the goal kickers first, and obviously the headline, Justin McConnell with 7, Marnie, Smith, Willoughby, Mitchell, multiples for Glenelg, and then on the other side of the ledger, Ellis did okay. Clark was good, Toomey and Jakes with 2 goals each. Through those stats, what do you think?
Well, obviously, a lot of the ball for South Adelaide, but we spoke about their turnovers. Their kicking inside 50 was the main one. I think their delivery to their forwards wasn't quite what it should be. And inside 50s, 64 inside 50s. You'll never play a game when you get 64 inside 50s and not win.
Let's have a listen to how they celebrated the Bays. May have noticed in the background there, Mark Soderstrom, who credits a season here just with the Bays. He didn't know the words, though, I noticed. Soders, you're still happy with Sturt and North Adelaide as your ex-clubs. And you've got Mark Mickham with you now.
Take it easy there, Cross. I must say, I don't think Scotty Lewis knew the words either. I don't know on him. Now, Rubbers, in terms of context, I'll get that out, context of the season, pretty important game when we're hotting up for a spot in the 5.
No doubt, we certainly knew that going into the game, and you know, to win by 10 goals or so was, you know, we certainly would have taken that. And we really expected a response from South. I thought we got there, to their credit. You know, they were really competitive, and you know, we were pretty inefficient under their pressure for a period of time there. And you know, it really wasn't until the last quarter that we really broke away and kicked clear in the end.
I know you said during the week that and also Central, the starts were a bit of a concern to you. Again today, although you were against the wind, was it a little slow?
Yeah, I agree. I said to the players at quarter time, we didn't really get the start we wanted. We still haven't got that right, and that still remains an area that we need to address. So, you know, they got themselves back into the game, but at the same time, in our early period of the game, we were very inefficient going forward. Too much rebound out of our forward line, and you know, they scored freely when they went forward. So you know, I thought our contest was okay, but our efficiency was poor.
I thought South probably threw everything they had at you in the third term, and you must be pleased you resisted that well.
Yeah, I think we lost the third term by two goals. Probably that was a scoring end, but having said that, you know, there was still some areas where we could have done a little bit better, a few turnovers and, in that quarter. And when you turn the ball over against South, they're very good at punishing on the scoreboard. So, you know, that was an area to patch up. But yeah, I thought we held our own sort of thing in that quarter and then came home strongly.
Next couple of weeks become very important now because we are talking about getting closer to finals. West Adelaide and Port Adelaide before the bye.
Yeah, well, you know, both you know, teams that you know, after what's happened at West Adelaide, you expect a reaction there. You know, Port are always a competitive side and you know, a difficult team to play. So you know, we've got two really important games coming up, and we've got to prepare well for them.
Good on you, Mark. Well done today. Good win.
Yeah, thanks very much.
Yes, Mark Mickey, you'd be very happy with that, a 64-point victory after what looked like a real struggle for a lot of the day. We're going to have a look through some of the highlights this afternoon. Firstly, to the mark of the round. I doubt, Stewie, whether this is hard to pick.
Certainly was. Nathan Toomey, fantastic. He set himself, had a clear run at the ball, and up he went. And more importantly, like we spoke, kicked the goal, finished off, but that's one for the highlights package.
Just the 6 kicks, 3 marks. This is the best of them, obviously, this afternoon for Nathan Toomey. He got a very, very good ride, and he enjoyed the mark, got all the applause, and as you said, he finished off with a goal. The goal of the round was Chad Norsworthy, so South Adelaide slipping in. They did do some good things. Let's look at how Norsworthy managed to finish off, and of course, the good work in there from Ellis.
Yeah, Dale Ellis, second goal of the game. Beautiful kick. Good shepherd on the line there from Munkara, but that's just goal awareness and knowing where they are and backing yourself in.
And we saw a couple kick from basically that area of the ground. Adam Fisher for Glenelg also managed one from a set shot, running around and kicking from that area of the ground, using the breeze to perfection. And Norsworthy, the ex-Central District player, kicking our goal of the round. We look at those results. Glenelg beating South by 64 points. The Eagles over Norwood by 32, pretty much expected. That puts the Eagles genuinely in the top 4, if you like. Central's over Port by 13 points. Stewie's rubbing his hands together with that result down at Alberton. And Sturt at Richmond Oval beating West Adelaide by 20 points. North Adelaide, of course, having the bye as we look forward to next week. And where, Stewie, you'll be glad to know, out looking at the Dogs against the Eagles. A rematch of the grand finalists, and contrasting fortunes this season for those two clubs. Sturt has the bye next week, and it'll be another interesting week of football ahead of us. Thanks for your company this afternoon. Good result.
Yeah, it's a good result. Glad to be here. It's always good fun, and love my local footy, so I've enjoyed it.
Absolutely. Bays home by 64 points. Thanks for your company. We'll see you next week.